Welcome to the EST Hangout.
This is the EST Hangout, and today's guests are...
And a good Wednesday morning to you. Welcome to the EST Hangout presented by Sentinel Storage. Live right here on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Tune in, iHeartRadio, on YouTube, and wherever you get your podcasts. Again, Sentinel Storage, the proud presenting sponsor of the Hangout. Canada's storage experts, more than 2 decades of helping Canadians through life's transitions. 50% off 12 weeks. It ends December 15th. Check them out, sentinel.ca, for a storage location nearest you. Matt Iwanyk, Tom Gazzola with you here right now. Dustin Nilsson.
I'm just sitting in.
But
you want to.
Well, this is perfect for me. I love to sit in for like 15 minutes.
Perfect.
Because I got a bunch of stuff to do, but this is great.
Yeah.
15 minutes with the boys on the hangout. You know?
Rick's laughing as he walks by.
I said to Maddie, I said, now I can sign the wall. But you said wait till tomorrow because I'm doing the draft.
I said you'd sign it tomorrow anyways.
We got like Trey Ford's going to sign this wall today.
Yes.
And Gavin Cobb. So I'll wait. I don't want to do it the same day as those
Belle
guys.
hasn't signed the wall yet either.
What's his deal?
I just haven't asked, I don't think. Or like, I don't know if he's waiting, so we got to get
I see Coob over there.
Yeah.
Fergie signed yesterday.
Yeah, I see that. Funny how they didn't teach him how to do handwriting
It's like
back
Ron.
in the 1910s.
Did you see Ron over there?
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah.
So it's all over the place. We got all sorts. So yeah, we'll get, as Dusty has said,
Jasmine's looks like it was done with AI.
Trey Ford, Gavin Cobb, they are coming in on the Hangout today at 10 o'clock. We'll have them for an hour. Bell's
That was
on his way.
Belsey already. I was like, I'm out.
No.
Very quick. Actually, he usually texts saying, like, I'll be there in 15 or something. And I haven't got one yet.
Well, it's a little snowy out there.
So,
It is.
Yeah, but
I was laughing at, Trev, yes. And Eric with his rankings of power.
On the candies, because we got a big draft tomorrow.
And we do, and I will take the 4-5. Like, I got lucky with the wheel. I do need a better performance. There was a lot of good chirps yesterday in the group chat. Kamish, and I like how you kind of threw it together pretty quickly. So,
well, it's not done yet. We got to go over a bunch of them. We have some good suggestions coming today.
yeah.
But the draft came together nicely because Quinn was like, I can only really do Thursday. And I was like, well, can we make this work, right?
Yeah,
So-
and we will. It'll be really good. Holiday spirit is like kicking up big time. But Rick is right. Like the cherry filling in the chocolate, and if you get one that you think is a different flavor without looking at the guide, and you get that cherry filling, awful.
I just like
Absolutely
plain
awful.
chocolate. I know it's going to surprise you guys.
No.
But I just like plain Christmas chocolates.
I just like normal, like, I'm a fan of like Dairy Milks or Jersey.
Yeah, like milk
I
chocolate.
don't need more. I don't like dark chocolate.
That's why I
No,
like
me neither.
Arrows.
Arrows are
Arrows
great.
great.
I like Arrows. I do like the only one I get maybe crazy with. I do like Caramilks.
Caramels
I don't
are
like
fantastic.
caramel in other chocolates, but I like them in a caramel bar.
The truffle, Pretty's the truffle
Lindor
hedgehogs,
Lints, too.
Lindor Lints are
Yeah.
fantastic. You get like the toffee swirl and like man, but yeah, you get that hint of cherry, and it ruins the chocolate. It ruins about a good 15 minutes of your day.
Pretty much. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
What do you think Reed does? Do you think Reed takes the first overall pick?
Well, I don't, so Jay yesterday texted that he's in.
I know.
And then he made a comment about maybe I should get Reed to be a proxy.
Well, the reason we said we were going to do it on Thursday was because he said he was unavailable Friday.
Yeah.
So that's why we'll do it Thursday. He goes, yeah, I'm in. And then he changes and says
Yeah.
Reed's in as a proxy. Do you
Saw
think this
that.
is a bit?
Maybe.
Well, I'm
ploy.
very curious by this.
It's a guy who hasn't won. He
And
was tied for a win. He's never won outright.
I think he's scared.
I can see it.
I think right now, Jay, I think tomorrow puts all of you at a test because you don't have a long time to prep.
Yeah, it is a quick turnaround.
It's going to be a quick turnaround. So
Yeah.
its skill's going to rise to the
Is this
top.
the quickest we've ever turned a draft around?
I
It
would
has
have to think.
But these are great topics too. They're fun. Like as soon as I saw the outline, not even the final, we're not to the final one, obviously, but when I saw like the few categories that we had listed already, I thought to myself, like, these
Did you
are
see the one
great.
that came in this morning?
No.
The time of day to have your first drink.
Yes, and I thought about this.
What a cool category.
Yeah, I listen.
Now, but
and
what day are we talking?
I mean, that's a great point.
Like,
man.
that's, I think, gonna have to be
I'm assuming it's
defined.
on like a Boxing Day.
Christmas
That's probably
Day,
how I'll be
Boxing
drafting
Day.
it. Christmas Day, Boxing
Well,
Day.
I think almost it should be defined so everyone knows.
Yeah, Boxing
so the
Day is
people
more of a
voting
booze-
on it
Right.
know,
It's
a
like,
good point.
Is
Yes.
it Christmas
First
Day
Chris-
or
yeah.
is it Christmas Eve? Is it the day you sell? Like, 'cause some people like my family, Christmas Eve is bigger than Christmas Day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it the day that?
Christmas Day is big for us, but we usually don't bring the booze out. Well, a little bit. But like on Boxing Day, probably play some more games and get into the booze a little bit.
Christmas Eve, like Maddie's family, like to me, it's like get over the hump day. Like you have to like plow through.
That's a big one, eh?
Yeah,
I've never been in a house like that.
Even like on the Italian side, it's like fish and
Big
this
seafood.
and that.
What?
Big
And the same on
seafood
the
day for the
Polish
Italians.
side.
Come on.
And I get very annoyed
weird.
by it. Like I, out of protest, brought a donair one day
My man.
to my parents' place, and
Fist
my
me.
mom was like, "How dare you do that? Why did you bring a donair? You know this is a meatless
Christmas
day."
Eve donair though?
Yeah,
Come on,
and,
that's an
and
great
I
It's a
got
idea.
that
meatless day.
Swiss.
It's a meatless day.
It was fun.
Oh, it is.
Christmas Eve's meatless.
I do not
for the
practice.
Slavs.
Fish is kind of meat.
It's
it's like-
a different.
It's
It
like an
doesn't count.
exception
Okay.
In
So
the
we're bending the
Roman
rules.
Catholic
I don't know
yeah.
why.
Yeah, I was
don't
gonna say, it's
I don't know
still-
the full
yeah,
rationale
like a
behind it,
protein,
but
like,
fish
what are you
doesn't
doing here?
count.
But-
It doesn't count as the meat.
Exactly, but that is the big day. It's-
Well, Jesus gave the fish to everyone.
Oh,
That's why you
of
can't
course.
do the meat.
yeah,
yeah.
not Jesus the landscaper, by the way.
Is that from a movie?
No, I just like to make that joke. Jesus, the landscaper. If
Okay,
you had a house in
okay.
Phoenix, you would understand.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, that makes sense.
Anyway, so you get over that hump, and so like Christmas Day in the morning, usually my brothers and I would stay at my parents' place. We'll probably do it again this year, and you get the coffee at like 9
Yeah,
o'clock.
real nice.
A little hit of Bailey's and
Different in my house.
See, but you also have kids.
Yeah, we'll
which
be up
changes
early.
it.
We'll be up early.
So, that's where I just feel like the day needs to be defined. Maybe
Yeah.
you have to draft with the day or something. I don't know.
You pick your
Or
day
it's
and the time you start drinking.
through the holiday
New
season or
Year's
something.
Eve,
Oh
4 p.m.
Right.
no,
Like,
That type of thing.
that's game day. It's a game day against Utah this year. So
Horrible scheduling.
yeah,
but it's for the general public.
in general public, that's
And
a good
not
point.
specific for 2024. So
Anyway, that's a great category though.
It is.
Like that's a cool, unique category.
so I think that because there's such a quick turnaround, like skill is going to rise tomorrow.
Oh wow, really? You think natural drafting skill?
I think
I'm
natural
gonna win
drafting,
then.
which is why
Tommy googling things
this
on his
is why I
computer.
think Jay is running. This is why Jay is sending in
Whoa,
a proxy.
whoa,
I don't
whoa,
think
whoa.
Jay is comfortable enough. This is why I say he's
Maddie,
scared about
this
tomorrow.
This is new.
I didn't know you had this draft axe to grind with glue guy.
I have none. I'm
Very
just saying,
saucy.
why else would you run away from this draft so quick when you texted in saying, "Yep, I'm good to go"? Because you're
Yeah,
scared
it's
of
true.
the quick turnaround.
I like this out of you. I really
I
respect it.
I think Reed and Jay are very like into bits, and I think this could be a bit. I think it could be a bit where they're going to use Reed to get first timer votes, and then Jay's going to claim victory through his proxy.
Oh, good.
Tell me that
theory.
couldn't be a theory.
No, that's good.
But
Symbiotic.
how did it go when Trev was your proxy?
Well, if he would have drafted off my bloody list,
Yeah, but
Like-
how did he like?
Yeah, he
what
got-
was
Pissed
put
me
on
off.
the poll? Was it you or was it Trev that was put up on the poll? Or I guess it's no names.
I can't remember. There's
Right,
no
it's not
names.
a
So
names.
no names.
But by the end
But
of
on
that,
their show, they can be pushing like Reed's a first timer. Give him some pity votes.
yeah.
Like,
But by the end of that draft, like still like 45 minutes left,
Bell's
he was
here.
already apologizing. You know,
Yeah.
and you can't do that. And I think you're tapping into the sympathy vote by
sit
apologizing.
here, Bellsy. I was keeping your seat warm. Guys, it was a treat.
That was lovely.
Thanks. We'll see you at the
Thank
draft
You've
tomorrow.
earned the right to sign the
See you
wall
on-
later.
I'll see you on the
let's
oil
need you to
field.
sign this wall later.
Bellsy, you haven't
Bellsy,
signed the
we
wall
haven't
yet.
gotten to that.
Hi, big guy.
Good day. How are you?
You look olive pants today. An Oilers alumni.
Thank you.
We missed you yesterday.
Did you?
Yeah. You would have been the second Oilers alumni there.
It was that bad?
Yeah. Good turnout, though. Lots of friends and family. There's a lot of former pro players that are kicking around the city.
Yeah, and none of them go to the skate.
They did yesterday.
We
Who
talking
did?
about an Edmonton Oilers alumni skate?
Yeah.
For the people that don't know what
My
you guys are
back
talking
hurts.
Who went out? I know
Well,
Wimes obviously went out.
Wimes was. Did you know Wimes played for Colorado?
Yes, he did.
He's such a good guy. And Kevin was wearing a visor and a helmet.
Kevin
He was also a goalie. He was listed with. Is it Kevin?
Nastiak?
No, not Nastiak. I know Nastiak.
No idea.
Okay. Anyway, you were missed yesterday. He
Long drive.
refuses to show up on purpose.
Aren't you busy?
Yes, that's exactly why.
Don't
Like,
defend him.
well, isn't it like a busy week too? Like,
Yeah, it's a super busy week. So thank you, Maddie. Appreciate
because
that.
like even for today, I was
Yeah.
like I could understand if Bellsy couldn't come in today, so I double checked with him yesterday.
yeah.
Dude, it's gonna be
because
cool
he's super
to see
busy.
him with the Elks on. You guys in the Elks, it's gonna be great.
I can't wait to see how small I look in front of that mammoth Trey Ford. The last time
Well,
I was in,
he's not a
last
big
time I
guy.
sat here, DeBlanco here dwarfed me. Like
He
it was
did. I was
disgusting.
stunned by it.
Yeah,
The Blanco's a big guy.
and I don't think Trey Ford's like a small
No,
guy.
he's like
No,
he's like
but I
mine or
think-
Maddie's size. He's about Matt.
He's not Matty's size.
Well, he's thicker than Matt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, but
think
how
he's about
many?
Matty's
Most
height.
people are thicker than Matty. Come on.
Matty's very svelte.
Sorry, Matty.
Matty
There's nothing
maintains.
to apologize on that one. It's look at me.
Matty maintains a European trim fit physique, and as he continues to age, that is a testament to his commitment to fit.
Yeah, I don't want to add the weight. I'm very careful of that because once you add it, it's hard to get off.
That's true. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And I don't work out.
that's fair.
But you run. He runs.
Yeah, that's about it.
Distances.
I don't do actually like
Just when you're
working
drinking,
out. What do you mean work?
you
out
just
drinking?
run. Just when
Oh,
you're
he
drinking.
runs.
No, I'm trying to get into it on a regular basis again.
yeah?
But I used to would run like
Marathons?
no, just
just
quick
run?
5Ks and stuff. Try
Oh,
to
just
get
a
them
quick 5K.
Yeah.
Oh, I've never heard of just a quick 5K.
He's on his thing right now. He's doing his thing.
but
This is
what
he
thing?
does.
What thing am
What's
I
a
doing?
quick
Tommy?
well, I need to get back to
Well,
my
like when people are like, "Hey, I'm gonna go for a run," it's a quick. I'd be like, "Okay, quick 1K." I've never heard a quick 5K.
1K is like, well, you can do that in a
1K
couple
is nothing.
minutes.
1K. I could do 1K
Gentlemen,
in like 4 minutes.
I'm not a
if
long
that.
distance runner. So I think my mentality is based off of me
had
not
me
being a long
fooled.
distance
Like
runner.
right now, my 5K is under 30 minutes.
Seriously?
Well, I'm not happy with it. It's not.
Oh my God.
like
You're like a
good
little
under
gazelle,
30.
hey?
You did have
But
a
I
shoulder
used to be
surgery.
able to get to like 22 minutes. for
22 and
5K.
5K?
Yeah.
Hot
My
damn.
range would be like 22 to 24 minutes when I was at my best.
Wow, that's impressive.
So that like to me,
Good for you.
I could do it, I'm right now closer to the 30-minute mark, and I'm not happy about that. But I haven't run enough, so I didn't get back to them. But that's the only
I
work
think
I
I'd
do.
do
I don't
2
do
hours.
like much strength. I don't like going to the gym, so that's why it's like I'm careful of adding the weight because I know once I add it, it ain't coming off.
Yeah. I'd easily be 2 hours. I'd have to stop and have a beverage somewhere.
You're like Eric.
This is why I can't do
Yeah.
Amazing Race. I can't do it.
Oh,
I don't
They
think you have
asked
to be
me
that
again.
fast.
I know you told me that. They asked him to do Amazing Race again.
I think you should.
2 times now.
I think
Bring
you
me
should
with you.
Bring Matthew and I would give
Yeah, that'd
my
actually be
spot
good.
to Matthew because he is the brains and he's obviously
You got to
we
do all
figure
the you got to do all the running.
I'll do all the running, no problem. You got to do all the strength.
That's fine.
There we go.
I got it.
boom.
We're set.
You guys are amicable. Great team.
I think it'd be a good team actually.
I actually really do too.
Maybe I should get back to her.
Yeah, maybe you should.
It'd be a little weird though. I think if people all of a sudden I'm gone and then Belzy's gone for like 4 weeks. People are like, where are those two? Yeah, well,
35 days.
35
and
days.
you
That's
cannot. Well, you can't be in touch with the outside world for 35 days if you go the full distance.
Edmonton Sports Talk t-shirts and swag all day or a day.
we could do watch parties.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
There was a guy who does a podcast in the States, a political podcast, but he got on Survivor and they did a big watch party for episode 1. He got knocked out in episode 1. So they couldn't do any more after
On a
that.
political
That would be
podcast.
so good.
Yeah.
But they all came out and then like people were filming and
Yeah.
as soon as he gets evicted, they like
He gone.
pan right to him.
Was it Alex
Oh,
Jones?
that'd be so good.
No, this was actually a leftist political podcast.
I got a good one here.
still.
Caster, who will do the heights and water challenges?
Yeah, I could definitely.
I can't do the water because I sink.
I could do some water. Like what do we like? What is water? Like I'm not the quickest swimmer, but I can swim.
Yeah, I'd sink. So you have to do that.
Yeah, no, but like, what are we talking about?
Do you like heights?
I'm gotten used to it in a sense where like it, like I would be a little terrified to bungee jump.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. Not a chance.
So here's what happens:
You
is-
has to.
I would take the penalty.
no, I get all set up. I
Yep.
get tied up properly. They say, Matt, you're good.
And I'm going to push you
You
off.
push me because I'm not going, but I'm giving you full
Either-
rights
yeah.
to just push
You-
me without me
Matt, you're going to
expecting
get
it.
off this bridge.
You just come up and knock me over.
Amazing.
And I will accept it because
Amazing.
I'll just stand there. So I need something. So I would give you full permission. Like
You
once
don't-
they like you go to them, be like, hey, good. Boom.
You
Don't
don't
even
want
tell
to
me
do
you're
like
doing
the
it.
detour or anything like that? Just take the penalty? I feel like we could make it up.
We could, but if there's a situation where we could get through it by you just knocking me over and it happens, we do it.
Yeah, but I don't want you to hold that in. Like that's a terrifying situation. And then if I just push you, the last thing you're going to remember is like, he actually pushed me.
Because I'm giving you permission.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
but he
no,
might
I'm the type
understand.
of,
No,
I'm the
no,
type of brain
okay.
that says, no, I gave you the permission to do it. I want
Okay.
you to do it.
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah.
And I would not hold it
You
against
know.
you.
Okay.
He gets it.
I just want to make sure.
Matty is.
If I didn't want to do it, I would say like, no, Belsey, we need to do detour.
he would
I'm not-
sacrifice
no.
for the team.
Yeah, 100%. Because I know me. I'd want to do it, but I wouldn't have the
But
willpower
have
to
they ever
let
done
go.
like a bungee jumping or anything on the Amazing Race?
I
I think in the U.S. one, I've seen things like.
Canada one's like fairly safe.
Yeah, and see, then I'm not worried.
They took the funicular or vernacular, whatever the
Funicular?
Yeah, vernacular here.
It wasn't
it was so-
vandalized.
It was so cold that it barely moved, so people just started running up and down the stairs.
Yeah.
Because they had to like create a puzzle.
We could do that.
Yeah.
So I mean, like that's easy.
I could run up and down those
Oh
stairs.
yeah,
no
that'd
problem.
be a great time.
I wouldn't even think about using the funicular.
Yeah.
Funicular is great. I
Is
love
it
it.
funicular? or
Funicular.
Funicular.
Funicular is like a
F-U-N.
like your vernacular. It's like it has something to do with like language and stuff.
Fair enough.
But people keep vandalizing it. It's like bus shelters.
People keep peeing in it too.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Then that's gross. That's
Well,
gross.
here we are.
Yeah, here we are.
Either way, that'd be cool.
You would also have to realize, like Big Uke says, take Maddie because every good team and show like that need a villain. We would become the villains.
Yeah. You guys would be villains that were easy to root for, I would think. I would think.
Like I would
you
have
wanna
no
become
problem.
villains?
I would have no problem being
Yeah.
cutthroat to someone. Like if
Done.
I wouldn't do it early. You don't hurt someone else early because you needed like
Yeah.
them to think good. But the moment we needed like mess
Do you
with
think-
someone, I'm messing with
Do
someone.
you think too many people try to be like buddy buddy in the game shows? Like there's got to be more cutthroat things, hey?
I think they're too scared to be cutthroat. I don't think there's too much buddy buddy. I think there's too much afterwards, like, oh, but they're my friend, as opposed to this is a game. We became friends long enough. It's time to cut you.
Yeah.
now,
So if we need to like steal someone's cab, we're stealing someone's cab.
if you
Just
did that,
grab them right out of there, hey? Pull them out. That's our cab now.
all I'm going to say to you is if you two did that to Katie and Taylor, who won this past season, then I'd be mad because they were lovely. But if you did it to anybody else, I'd say those
All's
are my
fair
boys.
in love and war, buddy.
It's competition.
Smitty won it last year too.
A couple years ago.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Last year, 2023.
Sure.
Vernacular is the word I was looking for when I like because he said vernacular. Vernacular is the
Vernacular.
word that's associated with language.
Yes.
So that and then Castor, they did variations of bungee jumps on Amazing Race Canada in Vancouver. They had to ride a bicycle across a high wire line between two office towers.
Yeah, you'd have to do that, Maddie.
Oh, we're doing the detour on that one
100%.
because you couldn't even push me across that.
Yeah.
No,
My legs would shake too much.
I'm too heavy for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we're skipping that one.
Yeah.
Well, I'm cheering for you guys.
Well,
Now
thank
that
you.
we've
Appreciate
determined that. you're
Jasmine
on
also
the team.
came on here and said that I tried to poison her.
Yeah, that's what she said a couple days ago.
When was this?
Honey, you ordered her the
Oh,
scorpion bowl.
yeah. Oh, you were on fire that night.
I wasn't on fire. I was actually fairly tame.
Oh,
My friend, however, Zach was not.
yeah. Yeah, Zach was feeling it.
He was all over you.
I know. And I didn't push back. I just let it be because I'm the bigger man.
Well,
You hear that,
I think
Zach?
I think you walked in and it was a verbal onslaught for an hour until you got up and left.
I think he was jealous that people were happy to see me, genuinely. And he just absolutely shredded me. And my suit game was strong that night.
He told I think he said your jacket looked like it was from a napkin.
Yeah, well, he was cross-eyed, so he really has no judgment.
It's like,
Yeah.
Tommy's jacket was made of napkins.
But Jasmine, that was a good night because that was her first day in the press box.
Yep.
She got a good question in and a response from Stu Skinner. She was feeling good, and you got her that scorpion bowl.
She destroyed it herself.
She says you helped at the end.
Not a chance.
She said at the very end you were helping at the end.
I did not help.
No wonder she was in rough shape. But Zach
That's interesting.
Zach, not a fan of the modern power play, which is he's the only one I've heard that didn't like the modern power play.
It's a weird thing
It
not
was
to
a fun
like.
night.
Well,
though.
he was wearing a pullover, team issued, and jeans, I believe. So don't take his comments about fashion too seriously.
Salty Tom. I like it.
Well, I'm just making an observation.
Portions of this hour of the EST Hangout, they are brought to you by the High Product Marketing, official merch partner of Edmonton Sports Talk, promotional products that bring the buzz. Check them out, thehighproductmarketing.com. I'm actually learning how to ship things right now without the Canada Post. I found that somebody, a listener, a buddy of ours, Shootsy, he sent me a website yesterday that like shops around, and I'm getting like really decent deals.
You have
Ship
the
some
book tape
things out.
going.
I've got
Yeah.
I've got like 15 packages to send today.
Pure later?
No, I'm using Loomis,
Oh.
Canpar,
Oh, yeah.
ICS, and
Canpar is
UPS.
different from Canada Post?
Yeah, it's.
I did not know that.
Well, I actually don't know because I also learned last week that Canada Post owns like 91% of Pure Later.
Oh, really?
Yes,
Huh.
it's very
Had no
fascinating
idea.
to learn that.
So people are diverting their business to Pure Later, probably because it's so
Attempting
popular.
to.
But Canada Post is getting a cut at the same time.
Well, they own
while on
91% of it.
strike. Interesting.
Or I guess we own 91%
we,
of it
as
as a country.
Canadians,
Yeah,
pay
we
taxes.
Like that. But Pure Later, 91% is owned by Canada Post.
Wow.
Jay told me this last week, and I was like, "This is like
That's actually
mind-blowing."
crazy.
And I went to look up it, and it's like, "Yeah, Canada Post actually owns Pure Later too."
It's like finding out Johnson and Johnson literally owns everything.
Yeah.
oh,
US.
there's like
Yeah.
3 companies that own so much.
Yeah.
BlackRock, Vanguard, own everything.
Yeah. And Johnson and Johnson.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm learning a lot about shipping stuff. But it seems so far so good.
Okay. Well, that's good.
So
Did you see the beer mugs came in?
beer glasses came in. I got a funny story about that. There was supposed
Why?
to be a third box.
Oh, the guy only brought in 2. He just walked right in and dropped it off.
Yeah, it was supposed to be a third box because the third box was supposed to have her Birdie Boo shot glasses. The third box somehow ended up in Northwest Territories at some woman's boutique shop.
Nice.
amazing.
The person at the boutique shop ended up calling Chelsea with the Hive to let them know, I got your box. And she's having to ship it back. So hopefully it'll be here by tomorrow for those that ordered at the store. But the guy was supposed to drop off 3 boxes. He only dropped off 2, and then somehow the other one got up to Northwest Territories.
All right. Sweet.
That's kind of cool.
We'll be all right.
Yeah.
We'll get those soon.
Yeah,
we'll get those soon.
We'll get there. It's fine.
Green and gold hat today for Tommy.
I like
Yeah,
it.
there's
because
a reason why.
Trade
Hey,
for
Is there?
Gavin Cobb.
and no product. I ran out.
We didn't have to go fully there. It's just
Well,
trade
I
for
admit
Gavin
it,
Cobb.
but it is because Gavin Cobb and Trey Ford will be on this show in half an hour. Can I say something? I like when seeing you and Joaquin at the Elks press conferences over the last couple of weeks and seeing the hockey guys, former players, Oilers, mingle with Elks, current and in the past. To me, it's like just like a collision course of, it's like, oh, that's so cool. I don't know. What was it like for you?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I mean, there was a lot of people that I knew
Yeah.
through the hockey world.
Trying to
that
get a helmet
somehow-
from Cheese.
Yeah, I'm going to continue trying to get a helmet from him,
He
but
can't give you.
I just need it for when I drive. But anyway, so
bad of a driver are you?
just kidding.
Heavy foot.
No, I just there's a lot of people that obviously cross over, right? Like Cheese was on the hockey side. I knew him back in the days when I was playing in Hamilton, and now he's obviously the trainer for the Elks. Chappie, so Cass's dad. So there's actually quite a few guys that I'd actually known and I'd trained out of Evolve, and a bunch of guys were sticking around training there. So it was kind of cool, like just to kind of see how they truly blend here in the city. But at the same time, I'm like, man, these guys are massive.
And he's a big boy. What are you, 6'2", 6'3",
Yeah, 6'2", too sexy.
260? And he's like...
Sexy.
I was supposed to
he's
say
too
sexy.
He's too sexy, as he says. And I'm looking at him, and he's by Jamin Pelly, and I'm just like, oh my God, Bellsy looks itty-bitty. I'm like, I
know.
can't imagine what I look like next to these guys.
And that was when DeBlanco came in. I was expecting like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Bellsy's
and-
a big dude.
Like,
man.
remember
DeBlanco
you like
sit
you
down. I
tried
was
to like
wow, I want you guys to arm wrestle.
I know.
And as soon as he walked in, I was like, yeah, it's no.
Yeah, no. Why would you do that to me?
Because I thought you guys were going to be comparable. I still
He does.
think
His
you could do
thighs are like football
That's where it is.
player-esque. Yeah. Yeah.
I love watching just like, don't care what sports, all of them mixing, but former athletes with current athletes, like
Yeah.
pros. Or,
Yeah.
Like we had Aaron Grimes in the Hangout last year, it would have been, and Gager was on with him. So it's just cool having that dynamic of here's a guy that played professionally in hockey versus a guy who's playing professionally in football.
Yeah.
And have you have guys play professionally in the National Hockey League with now 2 guys today that play professionally in the Canadian Football League.
Yeah.
I just also love that dynamic too.
I think it's cool.
It is.
Because you guys also know things that like we've never experienced. I was telling the boys a little bit about this yesterday. Like the feeling of if you trade forward knowing that you just signed that contract for 3 years, what that type of feeling is.
Yeah.
Or if you're Gavin Cobb, you're going to be a free agent this year. What's it like going into free agency? I don't know what that's fully like. You would.
This is true. I have been there. It sucks some days.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because some days you're waiting for a long time and that phone's not ringing. And then you talk to your agent and it's like, what's going on? Yeah, they're going to get around to it. Okay, now they're on summer break. They're going to get around to it after.
Oof.
Like the year I actually left, so after I played for the Edmonton in Colorado, I was sitting at Kingsman. The entire Oiler team was on Kingsman A. Me, Dustin Cohen, Ben Andrus were on Kingsman B skating. And after I got off the ice, my agent called. I called him back. He's like, we can keep waiting. There might be something for training camp, or we can go to Europe, and you'll be gone next week. I was like, well, I'll be gone next week.
Why didn't you go skate with the Oilers? And Ben Andrus, too, played for the Oilers briefly.
They didn't want anybody. Serdachny was running it, and they didn't want anybody
Steve
on
was?
these that wasn't an Oiler.
That's harsh.
Yeah. But I mean, whatever, it is what it is.
Yeah. I like Steve.
Fun times. Like who?
Steve.
Oh, yeah.
Where'd you go in Europe?
I went to Mannheim.
That went
Yeah.
out there for that one.
Yeah. I had to wait for Freddie Brathwaite to get his heart checked out because he had something going on with his heart, and that was a holdup on the timelines because they're like, if he checked out and he was cleared, then I would be brought in as that next import, and if not, they were going to go after another import goaltender. Yeah.
And Freddie was okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you played with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Nice
he would have
guy.
still counted as that import, and then bring in another guy, but they were going to have to get an import goaltender.
Right.
So that was a holdup, but it worked out in the end.
Yeah, you played, what, 6-7 years in Europe?
I paid $4.
Sorry, I'm not good at math.
That's okay, Tommy.
If you had a pick of a Christmas, what are you guys doing? How are we explaining this Christmas draft again?
What do you mean explaining it?
What is it defined as again?
It's
I don't know the categories or
Christmas. I think it's like Christmas. Oh, Quinn's texting right now actually about it. So we're getting more parameters. It's
We're doing a quick turnaround Christmas draft tomorrow.
Okay.
By we, I mean them.
what are we
Yep.
describing it as? No, it's
Christmas
Thursday.
That's
Oh
tomorrow.
yeah, tomorrow. Sorry, my bad. Entertainment, Christmas entertainment draft. Sorry, it's game day, non-game day in my
Sleep
life
at
right
night,
now.
man. Holy.
Dude, I can only game day, non-game day. That's
in the water?
That's the time of year we're in. Mixing in water. You on Saturday mixing in water.
Today's Wednesday.
Yeah, I know.
There's been
I
lots
just
of
realized
waters
that 'cause we had- Oh my god. Regardless, it's the Christmas entertainment draft. Pardon me.
Okay.
Excuse my friend over here.
Yeah.
So you got to take you could take a movie, you could take games to do, activities. What's the top one for you?
Jenga.
I wouldn't take that high.
No.
Jenga. Everybody plays Jenga.
I don't play it at Christmas.
No.
I've
Same.
never thought
Really?
of playing it at the
I
holiday
have a
time.
table that's wrecked because of Jenga.
Really?
Yeah. We used to throw parties
Jenga.
at my house at that for a big Christmas party, and everybody was Jenga. However, obviously you got to bring booze. That's probably the number one thing on the list, isn't it?
Oh.
Well, I have the categories.
Okay.
3 movies, 3 songs, 2 foods to serve when hosting, 2 drinks to have available, 1 indoor activity, 1 outdoor activity, 1 game to play, sport to watch over holidays, college bowl game. That category kind of sucks. Time of day for first drink. That's an interesting one.
10.
And then worst case scenario in parentheses, something bad that can happen.
So I think outdoor rink, ODR, is
That's
the
a
top.
good-
You know Dusty's going to say Spengler Cup.
Not this year.
That's tough.
So like for sports to watch,
Yeah.
World Juniors will be the top. That's the one for
Overrated.
voting. For voting, that's the one people want. I would go college football.
That'll probably be the winner, but the Spengler is probably the best one. If you're going to I'm going to
Spengler's
do
fun.
something Christmas time, watch something.
Well, for sports, there's college football, there's NFL now,
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
NBA,
NBA.
there's World Juniors,
Yep.
and there's Spangler. I would throw in there.
Yeah.
And to me, as I was driving to listen to him talk about that, I was like, Spangler would be a top one for me.
Yeah.
To me, the World Juniors is just different now. Like, it's just so much about the marketing of the World Juniors and how
corporate.
big it's so corporate.
too
And
corporate.
before, like when everybody would wake up, it was Boxing Day. It was in smaller venues. It was packed. It was loud. Like there was just, I don't want to say like grittiness to it because that's not the right word.
Canadiana.
But yeah, that's
Canadiana.
actually
There's more innocence to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though it wasn't always
Yeah.
innocent, I understand that. But
Yep.
a couple of years ago, I think they did go to a little bit of a smaller place. And I was very excited because it was like, okay, now you're back to what it is. You're not out, you just have a nice tight venue.
Yep.
That's packed. And it's, I don't want Rogers Place.
Because there's nothing worse than when, Sweden's playing Denmark and there's 3 people in the building. To me, that's like, that doesn't do it justice. You know what I mean? Like, because if you're in a smaller venue, you have the opportunity, even if there's only 55 people, at least that looks better than when you go to Rogers and those same 55 people look like there's one.
That happened 2 summers ago or 3 summers ago.
Yep.
Like that summer World Juniors, there were
It was awful.
20 or 30 people.
Well, and it
in
was
there,
also
yeah.
it was too expensive.
Yeah.
Like,
That's the other
The
thing.
pricing was
Yeah.
just too high. Like they went to Halifax a few years ago. It was like now you're back to
Yep.
where like it should be. To me, the World Juniors, it's Halifax, it's Saskatoon, Regina,
Yep.
something like that. It's it's those markets. It's even
Yeah.
Red Deer.
Yeah.
Getting to Red
Perfect.
Deer and going there, and that's what it should be about. And I understand maybe once every 8-9 years it goes to an NHL barn.
Yep.
Have your big one once every while, because it was actually really cool when it, like, I think it was Vancouver in the lockout year or something
Yeah.
like that, where it's like, oh my god, this is cool, like a full NHL barn is being used for this.
Yep.
But now it's just like, it's now this full money grab. I've lost my love of it.
Yeah, it's lost
Completely.
its luster.
Yeah.
And that's why I think the Spangler still has that, right? Like
Oh,
when you
it's
watch
amazing.
the Spangler, you're like, oh, this is kind of cool. Like
Hasn't
the rink
changed.
is small, it's loud. Like it hasn't changed in a long time, just like you mentioned.
The official drink of the EST Hangout. We'll continue talking about this, but just want to mention that it is the Finnish long drink legend in 1952. A drink unlike any other sparkling refreshment, real liquor. Longdrink.com/Canada to find a liquor store nearest you that has it in stock. I'm not throwing these today. I've been throwing them, but I don't want to leave a mess for one drink.
See how good he is with the cue cards too, by the way. So way he like, he's very
That's what.
good.
But I've actually gotten really good at chucking those.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Right at the camera every time?
camera.
I like-
right at
I
the
like it.
camera. But yeah, World Junior's not there. This part right here.
Yeah, and then you like shuffle them and neatly
It's
reorder them.
yeah. The World Juniors though will be the winner. Like we'll get more of the votes than I think anything else.
Yep.
ODR is a big one.
I know people that are like die-hard World Juniors, and when I said to them, and they were from Saskatchewan, and I said to them, like, hey guys, like the World Juniors isn't that big of a deal. Like it's not really on the grand scheme of things in the hockey rankings. Like it's not that big of a deal. We've just turned it into one on a network. And they're like, you watch your mouth. How dare you say that? And it's like, but like you guys said, it's lost its luster. Side point.
Well,
Please continue.
Cash going, they ruined the tournament by making it so big and always in Canada. Because now it's every second year it's in Canada.
Yep.
Which, yeah, that's the money. And even then, I'm okay with that. But just keep it to the small barns
Yeah.
to a degree. Keep going there.
I agree.
Is what it is, though.
Cash, I did play in Grand Forks. I also played in Helsinki the year before.
What a town.
What a town.
I've been there.
So, yeah, I mean, even going back to Europe, like there's some cool spots in Europe that you could have played in, like, and it just gives it like when it's in Europe, it's a completely different vibe, and I think they need to experience that more often, right? Like I didn't play. I think the year before the 2014 that I made, it was in Halifax, and that's when like 2-2 and all those guys were on the team, and it was like that was crazy because it was a small barn, it was loud. You had a team that was played super heavy. 2-2 was like a maniac.
Yeah.
And then the next year we went to Helsinki, and it was kind of that same feel, but like instead of the cheering, it was just horns going off all the time. So it was just different. Like you had to figure out that, and you weren't just the darling child coming in. Yes, people wanted to watch you, but Team Finland was the team that everybody wanted to watch.
What kind of pressure was it being on the World Junior team?
You don't notice it when you play, but then I've told you the story, but like after we lost that gold medal game in Helsinki, coming back into Canada, so we landed in Toronto, And then obviously guys were going their separate ways, their different teams, but just going through and you look at, you go to the little kiosk and you try to grab, whatever.
Yeah.
And you look at the paper and it's like choke artist. Like, I'll never forget it. And I'm like, choke artist, huh? Like, interesting.
Let me guess, it was a Sun paper.
It probably was, yeah.
They had the worst headlines of
But
them
yeah,
all.
and it was just like choke artist. I don't know if we necessarily choked. Like, if you look at that U.S. team that won it that year, they were loaded. And they were older than us. We were predominantly 18-year-olds. We had Crosby on the team. He was 16. But the U.S. team was like studs. And
That would have
it
been
was
like Parisi,
Suter,
Jonathan Quick.
O'Sullivan. I think Quick might have been there. Like, they were
What year?
a deep team, 04. And so, yeah, we ended up losing. But yeah, the goals that were scored, I guess you could say, were a bit of fluke goals.
That was
Like
the one
Marc-Andre Fleury tries to clear the puck out. It goes off Coburn's basically face and it goes
Yeah.
in the net.
Yeah.
There's another one that hits him kind of in the shoulder, rolls up over top, and it goes in. So he ends up losing that puck. But, 2 of the 4 goals, sure, we could have probably said they're flukes, but at the same time, like, the game was just back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan Kessler was on that team. Like, they had some good.
Al Montoya.
Yeah.
I liked Al Montoya, by the way.
Al Montoya in that
Really nice
at that
guy.
level was a stud.
He's a first rounder.
Yeah, he was.
Dominic Vicari was the other goalie.
Yeah.
Corey Potter was a defenseman on that team.
So yeah, I
also
mean,
on the
there's
US
lots of pressure. I think the next year there was decent pressure just because we had we added Shea Weber, we added Corey Perry, we added some of these other guys that came in, Bergeron, and it was kind of we need to win this thing finally because it was 5 years. I think
It had been a while.
I think it was 5 years since we had won.
Since 99.
Yeah.
But you guys were dominant in that Grand Forks tournament.
Yeah.
Like, dominant. The best World Junior team of all time.
It was a pretty good hockey team.
Yeah.
4-0 in the group play, 32 goals for 5 against,
Were you dash 5?
including
I'm kidding.
including 8-1 to Sweden.
Yeah.
8-1 victory over 8-1 over Finland as well. And then you guys beat the Czechs 3-1 in the semis and then destroyed the USA in the gold medal game 6-1. Where's your gold?
What year is that?
This was the 05.
No,
Or-
we beat Russia in
Yeah, Russia. That's what I
Yeah.
meant to say at the end.
Yeah.
You guys beat them 6-1. You still have your gold?
Yeah, I think it's in my mom's house somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a prominent one?
After I moved out of my mom's house, I left all that stuff there. And then obviously she was going through all this stuff. And then I just honestly, I kind of forget about it. I have the jersey still. It's like it's like a specialty jersey with like all the signatures on it. So I keep that one around because obviously that's a good one to keep. But medal, no idea.
Interesting.
Yeah. I kind of want it, but
Yeah, that'd be a good one to have.
Probably.
Go see the Cooks and Boys at Pro-Am, get it framed up
yeah.
with your jersey.
Yeah, I could do that.
Oh, that's a great frame idea.
Yep.
100%.
Yeah.
Do need to, because we're about 15 minutes away or so from
think
Trey
they're here.
Ford and Gavin Cobb coming in. No, there's other people, I think.
It's getting busy right
I don't
Yeah,
know
it
who's
is.
here. I have no idea what's here. But we
right,
got to get
all
Road Warriors brought to you by AccuSteel Heavy Haul Trailers, custom manufacturing heavy haul trailers for mining, oil, and gas, equipment, highway transportation, quality, innovation, integrity. They're trusted by the leaders in the heavy transport industry. Get on the road with peace of mind for your large loads. AccuSteel.ca. Just 2 games in the NHL tonight: Sabres, Rangers, Ducks, and the Senators. Champions League action. Oh, I think you're right. I do hear some of the
they're
players.
here.
So we'll see
Gavin
when
and
they
Trey are
send
here.
this in. Lil. I mentioned Lil in Champions League action coming up at 10:45 because it has Canadian Jonathan David on it. I think he's the only Canadian in action today when it comes to Champions League. And then NBA Cup action today. It's quarterfinals.
Whatever.
Wow. Just knocking them down. The Knicks and the Hawks in quarterfinal action. Warriors and the Rockets in the second quarterfinal action. Tommy not into the NBA Cup today. He will not be watching that. Clearly.
No, I do love the uniforms and I do love the courts. And I actually watched a Family Guy clip where they play double dribble for Nintendo. Remember that? When Peter does the corner 3.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's a great one.
Yeah.
Corner 3.
Not allowed to do that. And then
Yeah.
Cleveland thinks he has a chance. Okay, and now I'm going to play hard.
He's just hitting like nice.
Oh, I'm going to go over here. Oh, no, wait. Corner 3.
He's like, count of 3.
The way he says it too. I need to watch Family Guy again.
What a great show.
Oh, yeah.
What a great show.
It's been a while since I've thrown that one on.
Oh, man.
But it was
Is
awesome.
it still going?
Yeah.
Yes.
It is. How?
Yeah.
Simpsons is still going.
Well,
Simpsons
yeah,
just
Simpsons
had
is like-
Milhouse retired. The voice
Yeah,
of Milhouse
but
retired.
Simpsons are in its own box. Family Guy is in the outrageous box.
Same
You're
with
talking
South
about
Park.
outrage?
Outrageous. As in the comments, the actions that they do in that show, I think are hilarious. However, how have they not been canceled?
There's been some TikToks I've seen where it's like, how has this show been on the air? And they go like 5 offensive jokes for this video. And you're like, wow, they actually, I forgot, they were very offensive.
Yeah.
Hilarious, though.
South Park did it. They still kind of do it. I don't know what's going on with South Park. There was a rights deal that they signed and it's caused some issues and things. But I've always been told, like, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I don't watch that show.
Fantastic show.
But I hear
honestly.
like that because some
Yeah.
people be like, Seinfeld would never work this day and age. And people, I guess, point to like, but it's Always Sunny's on. So absolutely, Seinfeld could be on at this day and
Yeah.
age. Because
Yes,
it is
I think
offensive
Seinfeld
too.
could. But I look back, and because obviously there was a time where it was like any comment, it was like, boom, like, we're going to probably have to deal with this. And you look back and you're like, okay, well, there's so many jokes
Yeah.
from Family Guy that you're just like, wow, they crossed that line.
Do they ever?
And it's awesome. And
Rick
it's
and Morty,
hilarious.
same thing.
Yep.
I've never seen Rick and Morty.
What We Do in the Shadows, I think, is a brilliant show.
But I think there was an actor that was talking about that recently where it was like, well, we don't do any of those edgy comedies anymore because we're so worried that things are going to get, like, we're going to get canceled. We're going to get cut for that stuff. So they don't even bother doing them anymore.
Well, there was also
it Vince Vaughn?
Well, okay, so Vince Vaughn, he was on Hot Ones, I think it was, and he spoke about how they don't make any more good comedies.
Yeah.
Partly because Hollywood doesn't want to make risks.
Yeah.
They also want to like sell IPs. So like the fact that they could do the Battleship movie, they could sell more
Yes.
Battleship games
Yes.
with it, and they could do that.
Yeah.
The Marvels is they could sell the action figures
Yeah.
and all the extra stuff that they could sell.
That comes
That's what
with
they
it.
want to
Yeah.
do now because it's the accountant somewhere went, look how much money this makes. Yeah, it costs us $500 million to make, but we're going to make $1 billion.
Yeah.
So we're
Yeah.
going to be up 500 million type thing. And no one wants to take the risks anymore and go and try to get that edgy comedy out there.
Yeah.
That they can't sell anything else beyond it. It's here's a $75 million budget hoping to make 75 million back, if not a little bit more.
Yeah.
And no one wants to do that anymore. It's the same as music stations. There used to be a point where there's things called music directors. They're in charge of music stations. They curate the music that goes on a station.
It's because the diddler ruined the music industry.
He's all over this, by the way.
I'm talking about like actual like this, so every station though has a somebody that would have curated the music and
Yeah.
picked what songs to play, which ones will go in heavier rotations. Now they all do research. There's a research and they do things and
there's
it's all
research.
and they come out and not now all like some of the music
There's
directors like they still do have
definitely
some say, but
spreadsheets
it's
too.
not the same as it once was, where it's now there's like the bosses up higher, they just default to the research. And it's like, well, take a chance. Go find an artist locally and give them a shot.
Yeah.
If you think they sound good, but then they'll always, but the research says no. Well, I don't give a damn about the research.
I mean, I could take this
Moneyball,
comment to so many ways, this conversation so many ways.
Tell me about JZ.
No. Too soon, Tommy. Too
Sorry.
soon.
Sorry.
Yeah, we're not doing that today.
No JZ?
Nope.
Okay.
I'm staying away from all of those ones.
We'll talk about the diddler.
Nope, we're staying away from all of those ones.
We come in for Saturday's show. We come in and
Let everything just play out.
he's got
We're
like
just
a
gonna leave
stack
this
of like,
alone.
he's like, watch this one, listen to this one. How about
man.
Beebs here? I'm like, well, how's Beebs involved in this? And
Poor Beebs.
He's a victim, it seems.
Beebs has been letting us know for almost 15 years.
he's all over it. Like
As long
he
as
deep
somebody
dives.
is.
I did a deep dive,
Oh, he
and I
does
don't
a
want to
deep
know
dive
the deep
every day.
dive. So then me and Pagnotta obviously just keep sending for like there's probably 2 months straight. We just send something every day, back and forth, back and forth.
I end up catching strays off of them too.
Every
I'm
single
like, What are
time.
you guys talking about? Now JZ's involved.
Oh my god.
Well, we'll see how it all goes. We're not going to go there. We're not going to go there.
That's not good.
Today's going to be a fun day.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have a couple of Elks in here right away.
Yep. Back into that conversation.
The future of the Edmonton Elks, the face
Yes.
of it is going to be
Yes.
one of them with Trey Ford. which is there was an exciting day last Friday.
Yes, it was.
When the contract was signed or
Hernan
announced.
broke it.
If you're giving the Elks right now a grade based on what they've done so far to date,
Of this offseason,
Yeah.
it's an A+.
yeah, it's been great.
There's nothing that you could say they've done wrong.
This has to be something that's revitalizing the fan base. Has to be.
Well, and we'll have to ask him, but it's revitalizing Trey Ford.
Yeah,
I like what he said the other day.
yeah.
It was a good press conference.
So, but I don't think there's anything that you could have seen. Now, okay, I'll say there will be some people that will call it like an A. There would be some out there that would say it's not a perfect one because they haven't changed the name, you know. But I still don't think that's, and so like that there will be that difference of the thing.
Yeah, but that's
I think
gonna
you're gonna
be-
hear a lot more double E's
Yes,
mentioned. It's a
yeah.
lot more comments of the double E.
We're seeing that logo more.
That logo is going to be the prominent logo now.
Yeah.
I've been told that one, that the double E logo is what you're going to see more than anything else.
Gold numbers are coming back.
I don't think we're going to necessarily see the actual full name change that will happen. But
Neither
I
do
think you're
I.
going to hear a lot of just calling it the double E.
Yeah.
But beyond that, like the only thing that I think Ed could accomplish pre-Christmas for me to just be like, he hasn't missed anything, is signing Niles Morgan.
Yeah.
That's it. If all of a sudden they announce an extension with Niles Morgan before the new year, let's say at least, I'll be like, from the moment the season ended to the end of this calendar year, they didn't do anything wrong, and everything they did was perfect.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, I think Niles Morgan was at the press conference for Trey this
That's
week.
a good sign. That's a good sign.
Yes, it
well,
is.
even the one we were there for Ed's unveiling, or announcement, was heavily attended by alumni and then current players.
Yep. Didn't somebody say that was like the best attended one in quite some time?
He said it had more than the Chris Morris press conference. So it was busy. There was a vibe in that room. Like, it was intense.
Yep.
I
Oh
do
yeah,
remember
I
that.
thought I was coming out of retirement.
Yeah.
Ed had me ready to go.
What do you plan?
I don't know. Doesn't matter.
Get Bellsy in there.
They need defensive linemen. Can you
Placeholder.
play defensive linemen?
It's a long snapper.
Long snapper.
But no, so to your question, I think there's a lot of buzz around all of
Yep.
this. And now there's like the quarterback that the people wanted
Yeah.
is who they're getting.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing. You're like, fans wanted the trade for extension last offseason. They wanted to know that this guy was going to be their star quarterback and the
In the
starting
future.
quarterback
Yep.
as of last season. And it didn't happen. And then people like me were like, well, now this might lead to him not being here. And there was a worry of that. But knowing that he's still going to be here, though, for 3 more years type thing, that's exciting.
Now you just got to go out and you got to build a team around him.
Yeah.
Put the right weapons in place and make sure that the offensive line is good so that now you can utilize his skill set. And that's
It
what you're
was
looking to
good
do.
this year.
Cool. Should we make the
Yeah,
switch then?
you want me to get out of here? Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna
See,
switch
boys,
to
have
this
a nice
spot
show.
here.
Go buy some product.
Yeah, I told Chantel I was going to go pick some product. Chantel,
Who's Chantel?
she does my hair.
Oh,
Don't you know that?
I was confused with a different name.
You go to Tommy Guns, don't you?
I go to
right.
Casa de Belle.
Casa de Belle? Lindsay does it?
No idea.
You use a backscape.
What do you think? I'm going to backscape my head?
Yukon Jack does.
Let's get into that
Okay, thanks
conversation.
for having me.
You
I'll
think
see you
I'm
guys
gonna
on the
backscape
We've got 2 gentlemen that we'll get in the studio
Where
here.
do you want me, Matty?
Right there. we
here?
could have them in the middle.
Sure.
That works.
Yeah.
We could corner them in that way, I guess. So we'll see. Trey Ford, Gavin Cobb, they will join us right away here on the EST Hangout, presented by Sentinel Storage, Canada Storage experts. More than 2 decades of helping Canadians through life's transitions. 50% off. 12 weeks, ends December 15th. Sentinel.ca. It's Matt Iwanyk. It's Shawn, Belle, Tom Gazzola leaving us here as Trey Ford and Gavin Cobb will come on in right away. This is the weird transition always between these shows.
Yeah.
Because we're live and come on in. Welcome.
Welcome.
Either of these 2 spots for you.
Nice.
All good. Thank you.
I like those.
They bring the room together.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, it
yes.
does that.
Yes.
It does that. Come on in here, Gavin.
It does that every single time.
Matt, Shawn with you here.
boys. How you
Shawn,
doing?
former NHLer, including with the Edmonton Oilers. Say, just speaking to the side of the mic. Welcome back to the show, actually, because both of you guys were here before.
You're right, we were here before, yeah.
So, how are you guys doing today?
Good. I had the daughter's birthday today, so we were opening presents and stuff.
Oh, no way.
Nice. How
Today,
old?
today, yeah. Turned 2 today.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So
Very
Growing up
exciting.
fast.
Yep.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Wife's birthday was 2 days ago. So
Really?
yeah, it's been pretty busy.
It's a nice little week that you had here. Hey?
Birthdays.
So
That is
nice little
fantastic.
time.
Yeah.
yep, staying busy.
Staying busy. That's all you can do. For me, I can't complain.
No?
Enjoying some winter. We got some good snow out there.
You enjoy the snow?
I do now.
Yeah?
It's growing on me for sure.
Is it though?
Yeah. It's beautiful out there. It's peaceful.
Yeah. Okay.
It's just cold.
I hate driving on it.
I think the driving's fun.
Well, I mean, it depends what you're doing.
Yeah. I think the driving's fun as long as you're not around other people. It's the other people
That's-
that scary.
yes.
Yeah.
That's the scary part.
But the problem is you're going to go to work and there's driving with other people.
Exactly.
You're right. You're never on the road by yourself, so.
That is
What
true.
you gotta do is you gotta get a pickup. You feel safe in the pickup truck.
In a pickup truck.
Yeah. Because what are you driving right now?
I'm driving a Mitsubishi Lancer. So like a little bit of a rally car, so it
Yeah.
slides around for me. It's kind of fun.
Are you a truck guy?
Truck guy, yeah, I just got a Silverado.
Because you're a truck guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
I wasn't a truck guy, and then once I started like with the gym and all this different stuff, then I was like, I need a truck.
Yeah.
And I actually went out and I had a Explorer ST last year.
Okay.
And then I decided to come back to the truck, and it was the smartest decision ever.
Yeah.
Just practical, huh?
It's practical.
Well, I do house renovations.
Yeah.
So it's like having a truck's convenient.
Oh, yeah,
for
big time.
drywall or
Yep.
whatever it is.
So you're not hiring people to do this renovation. You're doing the work?
No, yeah, I do it myself. So I always try to, get my brother or whatever to try to help me, get some free labor out of him.
Hey, that's the way. And this is the reason you have siblings. There's a reason that. It's so like. When did renovations start?
Well, I really started this year for my place in Edmonton, but I've been doing it for about 2.5 years now. Bought a house in Niagara Falls and started renovating there. That's where I started and started learning from my wife's uncle. So I've been doing that, and then I'm pretty good at doing it myself. Now I do like electrical, plumbing, drywall, flooring, tiling, whatever you need to do.
So this is like a hobby for you almost.
Yeah, it's fun. I actually enjoy doing it.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, handyman Trey.
Anyone in the room like try to snag you this year to help with anything?
No, but I like when anybody asks, I'm down. I'll help anybody do whatever. So
When I purchased my first home, I know who to call.
yeah, there
No
you go.
kidding. You got to get a custom build now.
Yeah, exactly. And get custom drywalling done, get it all.
The dream is actually to build a house from scratch. That's the dream. Eventually.
yeah?
Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool.
So
Exactly
Yeah.
how you want it.
yeah, that's the best way. Exactly how you want it.
That was actually the childhood home I grew up in. My dad was in construction before he got into teaching, and
Okay.
they designed it like my dad and stuff, and built it.
Yeah. Have
Miss
the,
that house.
have the little bookshelf. Pull the book. Slides open. Man cave in the back. All the gaming systems. There you go.
Oh, you can't not have a gaming setup. Man. You're right, though. The gaming setup's necessary. You got to have one.
100%.
I got one at home, too, so.
Yeah.
And what's your game then?
I've been playing the new Black Ops.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. Been running it
There
up
you
on
go.
Call of
Yeah.
Duty. Been doing that for probably 2 weeks now. It's a good life to live. I tell you, go to the gym and then anything else I gotta do, get it done, and then we can play games. It's fun.
That is a life. I haven't been playing
is
as
a
much
life,
video
yeah.
games, since I've been a dad. Definitely a lot less video games going on, but still a solid Call of Duty player. Like,
Yep.
definitely hold my own.
Yeah, Trey can play. You can't play 2K though.
That's my best game. He knows that.
2K?
2K, the basketball.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that's my best game. Call of Duty is number 2. It might be number 3. Apex. Have you heard of Apex?
I actually haven't heard of it.
It's kind of like a first-person shooter game as well, but
Okay.
I might be a little bit better at Apex than Call of Duty, but still like top tier at all 3.
Yeah. I feel like I got to get in this gaming scene.
So I went to my brother's place this weekend for my niece's birthday, and he just bought the new Xbox to play the new NCAA.
Oh yeah.
And I did
Yeah.
try the new NCAA, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I haven't played a football game though in like probably 5 or 6 years, so it was like getting used to the controls again and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
But I love the NCAA football
I
game.
saw Mark Fistrick the other day. So we were sitting there talking. He's like, how's firefighting going? He goes, man, it's awesome. I'm like, yeah, what's going on? He's like, well, different games. Call of Duty just came out. So all I do is I finish my shift, then I go straight home and I play Call of Duty for like 4 or 5 hours, take my kid to school, go back and play Call of Duty. I'm like, when do you sleep?
When do you sleep?
Like, do you sleep ever? He's like, I'll figure it out.
That's what you think. You think you're tired, then you like the boys get you to hop on for just hop on for 30 minutes. You get on, then you're wide awake and you're ready to go. You're on for 4 hours.
He had logged like 80 hours at the point, like when I think within 2 weeks or whatever, like 80 hours. Like that's insane.
I think I hit 66 hours in a week.
That's amazing.
I can't lie. I'm only at 14 hours.
There we go. Good for you, Trey.
But you got kids, so.
But I got kids.
Yeah.
And plus, I got my scuff controller, which gives me a little bit of an advantage. I'm cooking on the sticks for sure.
You have a what control?
Scuff, so it's like the extra buttons on the back and stuff, so you don't have to take your finger off your aim.
Okay.
It helps.
Oh, I think I would need that.
That helps a lot.
Yeah.
I've
I
never
would
been
need
good
that
at
for
first
sure,
shooter
too.
because I struggle like aiming and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
That's where I've always had my difficulty, and I just never was good at it. So I just stuck to my sports games.
We're going to have to play.
We'll play.
Yeah.
Yep.
I fly home on Friday. We'll play Saturday.
All right.
Or Friday night. One of the two.
Whenever you get some time.
Friday night into Saturday, you can do both.
You can do both is right.
Try to accomplish that. Do you guys is there a lot of gaming play during the season between teammates and stuff? Like, are you able to, or is it just so busy with stuff? Or is that just how you guys decompress?
It's a little bit of both. I think near the end of the week, you can get a little bit more gaming going. Or even after the games on the day off, that's when we'll probably hop on the games the most. When you get some downtime just to relax or hype yourself up again, however you look at gaming.
Yeah. So who's the teammate that brings it on the road?
Oh, there's a handful of guys. I remember I was always playing the Nintendo Switch with Josh Haggerty and Jake Julian.
Yep.
Who else were we playing with? With Joel DeBlanco too.
Yep.
Yeah, we were all playing.
Yep.
We were playing Mario Party a lot.
Oh, what a great game.
Yeah, what a great game. That helped the bus rides, the plane rides.
Oh yeah.
Mario Party.
Yeah, big time.
Because that's the big thing about the NHL too. It's the players are known now for bringing those systems on the road.
What was the first one? There was like it was a PlayStation version. It was a little handheld. PSP.
Yeah.
That was like when I was playing at that time, and guys would get on and we'd play NHL against each other, or you play. I don't think it was Call of Duty back then, but it was another war game, and it was like North Americans versus Europeans.
Wow.
And we'd be sitting in the airport. The whole team would just be sitting on these PSPs, and it'd be like, oh, you just hear F-bombs dropped in the back. And you're like, what's going on? Like, yeah, we're just all playing games. Just like, oh, okay, you guys don't want to talk to each other? No, we don't.
Having too much fun playing games.
Exactly.
I don't really play too much on the road. Gavin knows.
Yeah.
When I get to the hotel, I go to sleep, and I sleep all day.
All day.
All day, all night.
That's a dad.
Well, I was about to say, I think from learning, like when Dusty goes on the road and to go call games and stuff, I think he sleeps a bit more because just you get that little extra silence, if you will. Or
Well, people usually don't believe me. I'm like, they're like, oh, what are you gonna do? I'm like, I'm just going to sleep. They're like, the whole day. I'm like, yeah. They're like, no, you're not gonna sleep the whole day. And then you get there, you wake up the next day, bro, you slept the whole day. And I'm like, yeah, I gotta get my sleep in.
Yeah, that's how it goes every time. Me and Trey are roommates most of the time on the road. So like, when I usually get to the room first, I think, and then Trey will get in.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey Trey, I'll be back in a bed. I'm gonna get some food. He goes, all right, going to sleep. Come back in the room, Trey's still sleeping. Now I even wake him up when I come in. I just come in, what's up, Trey? Oh, you're asleep. Now I go back out.
Yeah. The only time I'm usually awake is if there's a CFL game on. I'll watch the CFL game. If there's not, though, I'm like sleeping through the day.
now, do you watch CFL game just for the enjoyment, or is this a scouting thing, or like can you separate?
Both, yeah. I enjoy watching all the CFL games. I've watched every single one I could, this past year, except for obviously like when we were playing, and you know what I mean. But yeah,
it was entertaining this year.
Yep.
The CFL was really, really entertaining to watch. I found this year, and it was exciting. Every time there's a CFL game, I'm like, yeah, let's watch this because it's going to be good.
Yeah.
So then, who's a team, I guess, that when you guys are playing outside of Calgary, because obviously we know what that rivalry is like, the team that amps you up the most?
Ooh.
I'd say for me, it's probably when we go to BC. Because last 2 years when we went to BC, 1 year they had 50 Cent as like a opening performance, and then the next year was LL Cool J.
Nice.
So those ones get you pretty excited. And you can play in the Dome, and for me that's back home.
Yep.
So I like going to BC. That's probably what gets me hyped up the most.
I like playing in Sask. The Sask environment I think is like phenomenal. Especially I think it was our second year when they had the lights out game.
Blackout game.
Yeah,
that
thing was so cool. They shut off all the lights. Everybody had the green lights on their phone. It was super
that's pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, man, Winnipeg's cool too.
Yeah.
They fill the house every time. So Winnipeg's pretty sick to play at.
I don't disagree. Like even when I was playing, I think Winnipeg was one of those quiet, sneaky road trips. You're just like, there's something here. It's kind of a cool vibe. Mm-hmm. I agree with that one for sure.
Yeah.
They have the rum hump going.
Yeah.
In the stadium.
Yeah.
They are really loud. They've got a good team to cheer for, the last few years and things like that. But for you've actually had really good success against Saskatchewan too.
Yeah.
Like that you've come out there and the team's had some good success, even going to Saskatchewan over the last little bit. So that's, we've got a Rider fan here. I don't know.
I know.
I've always grown up with I love when the Riders lose. And it's great.
It's the best thing ever.
It's a great rivalry.
Yeah.
I love just the battle between Edmonton and Saskatchewan. So, it's nice to see when Edmonton goes down there and gets that victory.
Especially because they were wearing watermelons on their head when they get in here. Enough.
Just go away.
Go away. Just smack them around. Just send them back.
Honestly, it's even better when we beat Sask at home because they travel a lot of their fans. And
they
it's
travel
even
well.
better when we beat them at home.
Yeah.
What was it like playing against the brother?
Oh,
Any chirping going on, or how was that?
I mean,
or just,
we never really crossed paths, right? He's field side corner. I'm quarterback. I don't really run into a lot of people, and it's odd scramble here and there, but yeah, it'd be surprising. Not a lot of people actually talk a lot of trash to me. I'm not really sure why, but I also just don't
they
have
don't want
too
you
many.
to burn them.
I don't have too many interactions with people because
You don't really talk a lot of trash to people, so
that's probably a factor.
You
I got too much stuff going on.
Too much
to talk
other
trash.
stuff going on. Yeah.
Is there anybody that in your team that is the big trash talker?
Luches,
Yeah.
Gino,
Yeah.
Kai talks a little bit.
Yeah. We got some talkers for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely, Luches likes to talk. I love when Luches talks though, because he's so
He's kind of the guy that gets everybody else amped up.
kind of, but he's relaxed when he talks it until he gets upset.
Yeah.
But until then, he's so fun to listen to, just because he'll just say the subtly disrespectful stuff with respect. You know what I mean?
I do.
Respectfully disrespectful. It's fun to be a part of.
All you gotta do is just mic up Gino, mic up Luches leading up to practice, and you'll be happy.
Yeah,
They
you should
talk
see
all
those.
day.
There it
See
is.
those two
There
in
it
the
is,
locker
right
room
there.
before practice.
Well, for the Elks social media account right there.
100%.
Get that going.
Yeah, Dahmer, are you listening right now?
Get that on the YouTube or something like that. Let's see what's going on there.
Might be a lot of bleeping out in that though.
Hey, I think people enjoy that. Hey, that's the beauty of YouTube. You could keep it all there if you really
Yeah,
wanted
people
to.
would be listening to that for sure.
Were you a chirper?
Not really.
No.
No. There'd be times that I would decide I'm I'm going to chirp a little bit, but for the most part, I was just
What was your go-to chirp that you were throwing at somebody?
I can't actually say that right now.
Okay.
Because there was one, I said there was a guy that I played against. He was in Seattle, and this was probably the best one I ever threw. And I said in my comment, he went off the ice. So he actually got traded to Saskatoon at that point. We're on a road trip. And I said what I said. He skated off the ice, and he stared at me and my defense partner for a minute straight. He did not, his eyes did not come off of my face. And it was a pretty ruthless comment. Probably shouldn't have said it, but obviously I was young. Didn't know any better.
Cool.
Anything come of it?
No.
No fights or anything?
No, I don't think he really wanted to fight.
Okay.
Because I was a lot bigger than him. And we were my defense partner was Clayton Stoner at the time, who also was pretty tough. And Stoney is always ready to, at any point, it's hey, let's have a line brawl. Stoney, not today. So, yeah, I think we had the backup too. And then we also had the size. So I don't think he really wanted to engage in that that side. But it was not very nice of me. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm very excited about hearing what this is after once we get off the air for that one. Have you guys ever heard a trash talk that made you just laugh, from somebody else, or are you guys good at just zoning it out?
I mean, me personally, I always just end up laughing. I don't talk a lot of trash. I might throw a jab here and there at someone, but most of the time when someone says something to me, I just laugh at them.
Yeah,
I think that gives you the best reaction, is you just smile and laugh.
Yeah, it makes people go sideways.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just smile and call it a day. Whatever they say don't really bug me.
This is Trey's go-to right here. Okay.
Doesn't bug me. I did hear one funny one though. It was we were in Winnipeg, and I don't know. It was one of the fans. I could just hear him, and they're going, our forward's better than yours or whatever. And I was cracking up and I was like, he made all pro this year. Like, yeah, he's better. Okay.
Yeah. Actually, one of the best I heard from fans was we were in Omaha and we had Scott Ferguson on the team. And he was a guy that used to play here in Edmonton. And we were walking out and the fans were like, 10 years pro, not in the show. 10 years pro, not in the show. I was actually howling. Like, that's actually witty. Like, it's kind of funny. Like, it's a dagger.
Yeah,
kind
it would
of funny
hurt.
though.
That one would burn.
There was a longtime guy, I don't know if he still does it, Tampa Bay Rays in baseball. He was known for just getting to the players.
Yeah.
And was always giving it to the players. And like he'd have like battles with specific players that those players knew when they went to Tampa. They'd be dealing with this one guy.
Yeah.
I forgot his name, but he's like well covered. I think because Reed and I, our afternoon guy, we were talking about, I think like it was Eric Hinsky back in the day with this guy. There are some fans that could just absolutely get to some players.
Yeah,
with
and
the
they
comments
don't
that
like the
make.
water bottle squirt. Like you know, they chirp in between the glass, and then you take the water bottle and you spray them. That one gets them
Have you
every
done that?
time. Oh, I did. And actually, that same time we were in Omaha, and the fan came back with the beer through the glass, but I like went back and it missed me and doused everybody over here. So it kind of like, yeah, nice try.
I want to get into your guys' offseason coming up, but just quickly, you did sign the contract, Trey, with this team, 3-year deal.
Nice.
Yep.
Round of clicks for Trey then.
Nice, congrats.
What's it like getting that deal done, before the new year, and sticking with the city of Edmonton and the Edmonton Elks?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, being in the city's amazing. I mean, I love the city. I love where I live. I love my house. I love the neighborhood. So in that aspect, I'm excited, and obviously the football aspect. I'm moving up here full time in January. To be able to work with the OC, who's going to be here throughout the offseason as well, right? To learn the offense and master it and get ready for next year, as well as trying to get guys back early, right? To work on timing and stuff. And I feel like the earlier we can get our team started, the better off we're going to be. So that's why I want to be here full time, to encourage other players to get here. I'm just looking to have a successful offseason, right? Preparing my body to play a full 18 games and everything like that. So I'm excited.
You said with Hernan Salas and Joaquin Gage this week on the station that you didn't know if you were going to come back. You didn't know at the end of the season when you'd be here. What was that moment where it switched for you and you maybe had the first moment like, oh no, I'm coming back here? Was there a conversation you had with someone? Was there a move that happened? When was that first moment where you're like, okay, no, I actually think I'm probably going to stay here?
Yeah, I think it started, when I had a conversation with Chris.
Yeah.
So I talked to him. We had a good conversation, and he told me some things that I liked, and then he hired Ed and talked to Ed, and there was things that I liked, and then also Mark got hired, right? And then a good conversation there too. So just those three guys are probably the biggest factor, right? As soon as I talked to all three of them, I was like, oh, I want to wait to see who the OC is, but then I was like, no, like these three guys are good. I know they're gonna pick somebody who's going to be good for the team, right? And so just putting my faith in them, and I think they're three good dudes, and they were the reason that I signed.
Yeah, like what does it mean to you now? That obviously the franchise is yours. You've got the keys to the kingdom, and now you're rolling. I mean, because obviously the last couple of years you've been in lineup, you've been out of lineup, and obviously that probably weighed on you a little bit. But now that you've had those conversations and you've got that, like, what does that mean to you?
I mean, it's huge for me, right? It's just, an opportunity for me to take the next step, right? In the past, I feel like I've been in situations where, sometimes they wanted me to be the guy, sometimes they didn't, right? So it's hard to be that guy when I feel like your coaches don't see you as that guy, right? So it's a tough situation, right? Like McLeod came in last year, and it was McLeod's team. He was the leader of our team, right? And, that was fantastic for him. It was a great opportunity for him, right? But once he gets benched and I go in, I want to be that leader, but it's hard when, you feel like the team might not see you as that leader or the coaches don't see you as that leader. So it's nice to be able to walk into the opportunity and be the leader from like out the gate, right? And, I want to seize that opportunity. And, I've had great connections with lots of guys on the team. I'm excited to do it on a bigger stage now, connect with more people on the team. I'm excited for the opportunity.
Awesome.
For you, Gavin, a little different. You're free agent going into this offseason. Yeah. How are you preparing for this offseason? Are you just good right now, cool, or like, are you thinking like, hey, where am I going to be playing next year? How are you going with that?
Honestly, I'm approaching this offseason the same I would any other offseason, right? I'm in a position where I'm going to come into camp and have to make a team, as you always do. And I think all I have to do this year in this offseason, no matter where I end up, I really would like to stay in Edmonton. But no matter where I end up, I'm going to go into camp and prove that I'm one of the top Canadian receivers in the CFL, prove to them that I'm still a great kickoff punt returner. And like I said, I'm approaching this offseason the same I would with any other offseason. Just become bigger, faster, stronger, come into camp ready to play wherever it's at.
Does it ever weigh on you? Like being a free agent where you're still like, I got to go in and make that team. Does it ever weigh on you guys?
Honestly, this is my first time, looking into free agency. And I think it's cool. It's a cool opportunity. It's something I've never got to experience, so I'm excited for the experience. I'm also just excited to get to, have talks with the GMs and have talks with my agent.
Yep.
And I'm just, excited to see how everything plays out. You know what I mean? I want another opportunity to keep playing football.
Yeah, that's good. And I'm sure Ed's probably got both of you guys running through a brick wall already.
Yeah.
I don't know. You've obviously had your conversations with him, but I was telling these guys, like after in that press conference, I was like, man, I might be coming out of retirement now because he's just so intense. And you see that now that you have that kind of leadership in your team, do you guys feel a shift in where this team's headed, this organization's headed?
You can feel it throughout the whole building. People in the front office, you go into the team store and the ladies in the team store are beyond excited about who we have in the building as a head coach, who we have in the building as an owner, who we have as a president, who we have as a GM. Everyone is super excited around the whole entire building. It's really cool to be a part of, and you can feel it.
Yeah. That's sweet.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting that Ed got you fired up more than like Chris.
Man, I was I was jacked up.
I know, but like the Chris Morris one was a little more like I think like that was the one.
I was there for that one though.
But watching the Chris Morris one was just like I've seen a few.
Chris got me fired up too.
Nice.
I've seen a few presidential press conferences like we're hiring new presidents or something. I've never seen one like Chris's. Chris was not like he was very off the cuff, very right from the heart, not scripted.
Yeah,
it's personal for Coach Morris. It's personal for him. It's personal for all these guys.
It really is.
The big Alberta connection here, Coach Mark played at U of A.
Yep.
Coach Chris, I call him Coach Morris because he was the head coach at U of A for the past how many ever years. And, Ed played here in Edmonton.
Yep.
So I feel like it's pretty personal for all these guys to get this ship going the right way.
I would agree with you on that one because I know when Ed's time here, that stadium used to be packed. And, for you guys, it hasn't quite been there, but this city, when those teams are doing well, it's crazy. I think right now the upper deck is closed off, right, Maddie? Yeah. But that used to be wide open and it would be close to sellouts. It was always impressive to be, to watch football games because there was a time in this city that it was they were competing. Oilers and at the time was the Eskimos, now obviously Elks, but I'm jazzed up because of how much excitement's coming back into it, and you want to be able to go to those games and you just want to see that vibe, and I think it'll just be such an awesome time for all the players, for sure.
Well, yeah, Chris, I don't think there was another job he would take to leave the U of A for.
Yeah.
I think they comment on that, if he would still be a Golden Bear if the presidency of the Edmonton Elks wasn't open. Yeah. That's the spot he loves being at. So this is very important to him. And for Ed, I think Ed came in 99. I think that was when he first signed with the team. And he went from player to an ambassador community role to scout to GM. And then has been gone for a few years and back. But he spent a long time with this organization. He's put a lot of years in here. So, but Chris is the one that got me fired up. I was ready to sign up. If you guys need anything, you guys need a ball boy or something, I'm there. I'm there to help you guys out with that.
You'll be helping Cheeseman. Ankles.
I'll get you that helmet.
Thank God, finally.
He would really like an Elks helmet.
I've been begging this guy for a long time, and he lived at my house for a long time.
Cheese?
He owes me.
Cheese also owes an appearance on the Hangout. I got to get that done.
One of these Cheese, you've been called out
twice
now. Yeah. You got to get on the show, man.
Oh, yeah, like he wants to get on, and I'll text him, and then he won't respond. And then like a week
That's
later,
the worst. And you'd be like, oh man, sorry, I missed this.
oh, a week later he'll be like, yeah, sorry, I missed this. Oh, any other time, and then you'd be like, okay, well, what about these days? And there's no response again.
Oh, sorry, I missed it again.
No,
My bad.
Cheese is a busy man. We got to cut him some slack. But come on, Cheese, get on the show. We'd love to see you.
Cheese is a busy man.
For your guys' off season, like I know you said, you wanted to be able to handle an 18 game. You want to get bigger, stronger, but like skill wise, is there like one thing you guys want to work on your game specifically that you think you could maybe use a little bit of an improvement? Is there a part of your game that you think needs to be improved?
Yeah, I mean,
I
I think there's always, multiple pieces, right? I think footwork's one you could do, right? You could always just throw more, get more consistent, right? Be more accurate. Like there's so many little things you can do to improve. I think it's kind of just trying to hit on all of them throughout the offseason. Right, but I feel like especially for the quarterback position, the biggest thing is the playbook and the knowledge of the football, right?
Okay.
So that's why I'm moving up here, right? Is to get a head start on the playbook and stuff and learn it because, when you're the quarterback, right? If somebody doesn't know what they're doing, they're gonna ask me, right? And I want to be able to give them answers when they ask. So the biggest thing for me, I think, is gonna be the mental aspect, which is studying the playbook and learning and everything. So that's what my big focus is.
I was honestly going to say something similar to that. I think, as we've getting older and as we progress through our career, we kind of know what we're good at, what we know we should work at. And the training thing is, I feel like we got pretty good at it. We know how to train. And I think the biggest thing really is like what Trey said is going to be the mental thing, the mental game of football, watching more film in the off season. And when I get an opportunity to get my hands on the playbook, I want to dive into that. So when I get into training camp, I don't have to ask questions, or if I do have to ask questions, they're directed questions. I can ask Trey a specific question and not just a whole, hey, what's this concept supposed to look like? I think that's going to be a really important piece for me, at least, is just knowing what to do, where to be, and doing everything on time,
So how big of a change, I guess, would be now your new playbook versus what it was before, right? Because obviously it was a pretty, with Chris Jones's offense, it was, from what it looked like, I guess, was, okay, it's a 3 and out. We're going to try to hit. Everything's going to be a little bit underneath, a little bit more of a stationary quarterback as opposed to what you are. You have the ability to be that pocket passer, but you also have the ability to extend plays. So does that playbook now shift to suit your skill set a little bit more? Or is it still, okay, this is kind of the framework of what we want. Now we just got to go out and study those plays and then, adapt on the fly.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure because I haven't actually seen the playbook yet.
Yep.
I'm assuming it's going to be more tailored towards me. I'm hoping to get a look at it today. But I feel like it's not going to change too much just in the sense that a lot of teams do run similar concepts, right? Across the league. Doesn't matter where you're playing. There are some things that are slightly different. And, there could be different ways of coaching it, right? So depending on how the new OC is coaching it based on reads and everything. So I'm not exactly sure what that's going to look like, but I'm definitely interested to see because, the OC that we do have coming in has had a lot of success in the CFL and has helped develop some really good quarterbacks and help them display their talent. So I'm excited for it.
How long does it take to get used to a playbook? Like
Long time.
Does it?
Yeah, it's like you can go out there, right, and study and whatever in a week and be confident in what you're doing. But like once you're spending months and stuff in it, like it's just a different feeling. It's not, you don't think about it, right? You hear the play, you know exactly what's going on, and now you're looking more at the defense, like, okay, what's this half doing? Okay, where's the free safety going? And you can help skip, say, okay, yeah, with this guy lined here, I know I'm supposed to read the out to the under to the dig, but with the way they're lined, I'm just going to go under to dig, right? And be able to check some people off based on the defense. And that's just being comfortable in the offense and, being in there for an extended period of time.
Yeah, I would agree with that. But like after our third year in the same system, when you hear you could just hear the first 2 words of the play and you can already kind of know what's coming. And that, it just makes it so much easier when you break the huddle, you don't have to think about where do I need to line up, what route am I running, what read am I in the progression. It just becomes, boom, I got the play, I know my route, now I can look at the defense, alignment, assignment, and then we execute,
There's almost like a muscle memory to it once you get to a certain
It's
point.
actually funny that you say that because, like, you guys always hear us say the play.
Yep.
So you guys can just like click onto it so fast. But when I hear another quarterback saying the play, I'm actually like, I really have to think about it because I'm used to reading it and then I know it. But hearing it and reading it are two different things. Like, I don't know how you get it's hard for you guys to do, but you guys just do it all the time. So you're used to it.
Used to it. And what makes it really easy is when you know what you're calling.
Yeah.
Because when you know what you're calling, you say it clearly, precisely.
Yeah.
And you don't say words twice. Like, that's the hardest when you come in, like in rookie camp, in my rookie year, the hardest part was when the quarterbacks would get in the huddle and they go to call the play, but they get halfway through and then, oh shoot, and they back up and start it again. And then you see all the receivers in the huddle look at each other like,
but what I got?
wait, what are you saying? What did he say, Yaks or Zaks?
Yeah.
And then it's like, uh-oh. And then then everybody looks confused. But man, that only happens in the first couple weeks when, things just aren't smooth in the huddle. But when it gets smooth, it's easy. It's just like, it's fun. It's like a whole other language that you.
I still remember my first year. You got to flip the call on the right hash.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We got out there and they didn't tell us. So like, they're calling. Why is everybody running the play wrong? And we're looking at, Coach, I'm calling what's on the band. You got to flip it on the right hash. And we're like,
that makes sense.
what do you mean flip it on the right hash? Like, what does that mean? So then sometimes it's just like you got to flip right and left, but then sometimes you're actually flipping like words.
Yeah, just the terminology.
You're like, I'm like, well, what's the other word? We never learned the other word. Like, I don't know. There's Leah. What's the other word? I have no idea. So it was funny though. But then you get the hang of it, and then it's just like it's natural. You don't even realize you're on the right hash, and you're flipping it, and you're calling the play. So
I couldn't even imagine. Like
I'm already confused.
Yeah, like how big is that playbook?
there's a
Like
lot
what
of
would be
stuff.
an average
There's
one?
just-
Like an average size?
Yeah, well, there's like you get your weekly prep, which is smaller. Usually contains probably about like 80 plays. And then like there's like the actual playbook you get in training camp, which touches like everything. I couldn't even tell you how many plays are like that's ginormous.
But that actual playbook, that's gonna teach you the language.
Yeah.
That's the cool part about it is that you like during training camp, you get that big book, but that big book, a lot of it is just like a dictionary almost, and like
Okay, yeah.
this word means this action, and then if you flip the page and it's like all the words with all the actions, and when you flip the page, it's all the actions with the pictures. And when you flip the page, you get the words with the pictures.
Yeah.
So it's like it's a lot of information to digest, but when
Yeah.
you digest it, that's what teaches you the language.
So has there ever been a player that you guys may know or see that has been just able to not even worry about the playbook but still be a stud?
Yeah, I mean, there's some people that are just athletically gifted, right? That you know, sure they line up, and you might have to be like, "Oh, yo, you're running an in," and you throw him the in, and he catches, and he turns up for 80 yards and scores a touchdown, right? There's some people that are gifted like that and just get into good situations, but I feel like when they do take that next step is when they do understand the playbook, right? So you can definitely do it. I mean, I prefer a guy who knows what they're doing, so I don't have to tell everybody. Right? Like if I got three guys in the huddle, I'm like, what I got? I look at the play clock, and there's 1 second left. I'm like, we're gonna delay a game.
That's what you got. You got a 5-yard penalty.
So
What do you guys do? Like, is there what kind of communication is there in hockey?
Like a lot of stuff is terminology, right?
Yeah.
Like, so, climb and second quick and all that stuff, but it's literally the same thing. So we talked last year about the Oilers and they had a zone defense, but just the terminology of which player is which is a big thing for a lot of like hockey players. But then I would say like, there's face-off plays, your offensive zone face-off plays, or defensive zone face-off plays. I mean, altogether, probably 30 face-offs.
Do you guys get a book at all, or is it?
No, not really. Like, I think just guys will, they'll learn it and they'll do it through practice. And sometimes there's, maybe there's sheets that are posted in the locker room. We're like, hey, we're going to do these things. They try to give information from that sense, and maybe the game's obviously changed where now there's more books and stuff like that. But before, I know that it was just, Kate, we're going to post this on and you guys got to figure it out and be quick thinking on it. So
I kind of prefer it that way though, like where you actually get to walk through it and understand it versus like not everybody learns the same, right? You give some people a book and you're like, yeah, learn this. We're on the field tomorrow, and then you go out there and chicken with his head cut off, right? Like, no idea where they're going, right? But then you walk through it and they're like, got it. right? So I think there's different ways of teaching it, and I think you should actually do both. I think you should give them the book, and you should also have a period where you do get to go walk through, and everybody gets a feel and teach it different ways.
Yeah. I mean, that would be good because, I mean, there's so many times where it's just like you try to run a play, but there's that one guy that doesn't know what he's supposed to do and then all of a sudden throws it completely off. So, you know, having everybody on the same page definitely would help. But I feel like hockey is just, there's so many different variables that can happen. So it's hard to like truly say, okay, this route is what you have to take because there might be the guy getting held up. There might be a little bit of a pick play. You might have fallen. The face-off could have been scrambled, right? Like, so there's just all those different variables that makes it hard. But that's why I think there's like a lot of audibles.
Right.
Where it's like, okay, we're going to run it, but you might pop out to this spot as opposed to, you know, going back door. Yeah. So yeah, it's just a little bit different, but
I feel like hockey is a lot of like a feel thing. You got to go with the flow of the game and see the court or see the ice, kind of like basketball, you know, balance the floor.
Yeah.
You know, I was always coached, imagine the floor is on a teeter-totter. If you got 4 guys on one side, the floor is going to start going this way. So you got to balance the floor. I feel like hockey's kind of similar that way. Maybe not such as a set piece, like a set play, but you're flowing.
Yeah.
You got to fill the space.
It'd almost be like here you have your set play, but it's always an extended version of that, right? Like the pocket's now collapsed. Now I got to get out, and now something's got to happen where I've got to move to that open space, and now we can, you know, make that quick pass. And that's what I think really hockey is at the end of the day. It's you have your set, but that thing collapses quickly. Now you got to figure it out. So
Sounds kind of fun. I wish I knew how to skate.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, man. I would love to learn how to skate.
Yeah.
what position would you guys be then if you tried to play hockey?
Goalie. That way I don't got to
Goalie? Oh, man.
I would want to be a goal scorer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe play center.
Yeah.
Take the face-offs.
Yeah.
Make a little bit of off-puck movement, and then find the puck in the slot and score.
Yeah.
If I had to do it all over again, I'd be a forward, I think.
Yeah.
Would you?
Yeah. Yeah, I think I would. It's way more fun.
Yeah.
More
Way
glorious.
more fun. Yeah.
Yeah, but you didn't like crushing someone on the boards.
Yeah, but like in the era that I had to deal with, it was like I was getting crushed all the time. So
Right.
like they took out the clutch and grab, so
Yeah.
now it was like a free run at guys, and then especially during that time frame, it was like, okay, well, if your lips aren't touching the glass every other shift, you're lucky, you're happy.
Right.
So it's like you just got abused. But there's a couple times they go play forward, and like, hey, this is great. You do the running. It's amazing.
Or you just could have been more of an offensive, like you used to be scoring goals in this NHL with the way the defense have gone.
Yeah.
Be at the point, work on that shot,
Well,
have your own boosh bomb.
I ran into a gentleman by the name of Kevin Constantine, and that stopped. Because
That is one of his former coaches who he's
I
not a
remember
big
having a
fan of.
conversation, and he's
the
like,
one
"Are you
name
Nick
that will get him
Lindstrom?"
mad.
Oh, I can't stand this guy. Because I was actually an offensive defenseman when I actually started, and then I met this gentleman, and he's like, "Remember, are you Nick Lindstrom?" No. Well, then why are you passing pucks through the middle? I don't know, because it's open. No, off the glass and out. You get to the red line, you dump that thing in. I'm like, that stymies everything about what my game is.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Want to change who you were.
Completely.
Just gotta get in where you fit in, I guess.
100%.
I love
fitted.
And it wasn't that guy.
I love when his name comes up because you and Cass.
Right?
Cass, did
Cass
pay
is
for
one of the
him?
nicest guys ever. And Cass, when he hears that guy's name, is ready to murder somebody.
Cass is actually the son of your guys' chaplain.
Yeah.
Oh,
Chaplain.
cool. Yeah,
Matt
yeah.
Cassian.
Yeah, cool.
He's played in the NHL.
Yeah,
and
he's
he's
built like a
in one of
grizzly
our
bear.
shows and stuff.
Right.
Yeah. Cass is the same way.
Can't stand him.
Can't stand him.
Can't stand Constantine.
Yeah.
There we go. This is the EST Hangout presented by Sentinel Storage. Shawn, Belle, Iwanyk with you, joined by Trey Ford and Gavin Cobb, who are entering into their offseason. How long are you going to be sticking around in Edmonton? Or like,
I live in Edmonton full time. This is my third year. I've lived here all my whole time.
nice.
I love it here.
yeah.
Same spot.
Same spot. Haven't moved anywhere. It's been nice. I do a lot of work at the U of A, coaching their camps and stuff. So I mean, I made a good little community here in
Because you're originally from
Victoria.
Victoria? Okay. Yeah.
and then played in Manitoba.
Yeah. Started at Simon Fraser and then transferred out to Manitoba.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
How was it playing at Simon Fraser?
I
'Cause
loved it.
That was NCAA,
Yeah.
four downs.
Yeah, Division II. I loved it. I can't lie. I mean, we struggled Like my whole time there, we struggled pretty bad, but I loved it, man. You get to go to Texas every other week, and you're playing in front of a packed crowd.
Cool.
They got the marching bands, they got the military out there, jet flyovers every week. And I mean, I had a good career there, right? I had over 2,000 kickoff return yards while I was there. And
Well, that's it, hey?
yeah, I mean, I had a great time. I
running all over the
loved it.
field.
I thought it was the best experience I could have had playing football. We played a Division I team every year.
Yeah.
So I mean,
How would that game go?
we would usually get beat down pretty good. I mean, my first college game as a true freshman, we played at Idaho State. I had 6 catches for 100 yards, but we lost, I think, 56-3, something like that. We were 1 for 7 in the red zone. So
Hey, 7 times the red zone.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah.
That's good moving the ball.
Yeah.
that's how I always felt when I was at SFU. Like, we had really good teams. It was just we played against better teams.
Fair.
You know, I don't know how else
I
to
mean,
say
obviously,
it.
you go down south, and those are just powerhouse programs, right?
And then we had a conference of 5 teams in the GNAC. It was Simon Fraser, Humboldt State, Azusa Pacific, Central Washington, and Western Oregon. And now Azusa and Humboldt, they were always ranked in the top 25. And then in my second and third year, Central Washington became ranked in the top 25. So we had three teams in that conference that were contending for a national championship every year.
Where did Riley go? Mike Riley? He was in Central, was he?
Was it Eastern Washington?
I can't remember. Because he's a Tri-City guy, and that's where I played junior. So we kind of knew some of the same people, but I can't remember if he was in Central or if he was in Eastern.
Yeah, that's a good question. I should know that.
Central Washington.
Central Washington, yeah. So we would have played against that school when I was at SFU, and they were good. They were really good.
I always wonder, how good they were, because I never had the opportunity to play, right, American football and go down there and stuff, right? And then the only experience I have is in the CFL, and it's like people come and they're like, oh, like I played at UCLA, or I played here, or I played there, and I'm like, oh, okay, like you're pretty good, but like, as like a U Sports player, you kind of see those guys and you're like, they're up here.
Yeah.
And then you get in the same locker room, then you're like, right here.
The talent discrepancy is not as large as people think.
They're up here, but man, we're also up here too.
Yeah, right. But
I feel like us U Sport players, we don't get the same respect that these guys get just coming out. But I think that was the coolest part for me, man, is like, I always felt like I was a guy that could have played in a Division I school. You know what I mean? I always felt like I had the talent. I thought I was a great, I think I am a great football player. But then to get on the field with the guy, you line up one-on-one and you ask him quick before the rep, hey, what school did you play at? He's, I played at University of Miami. Go Canes. I'm like, cool. I played at Manitoba. Go Fighters, man. And then you go route the guy up, win your rep, and you're like, man, that's the coolest part. I get to play against guys at Notre Dame, and guys that went to Alabama, guys that went to Florida State. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's some pretty cool stuff to be on the same field, making plays.
yeah,
Like, we're all playing the same game. You're no different than I am.
Yep.
And, I wish that us U Sport players would get the same kind of respect coming out. But it's also kind of fun, man. You play with a little chip on your shoulder, earn that respect.
yeah.
It's kind of cool.
100%.
So, well, I guess, what would change that, where it was like now that U Sport player gets more respect? Is it more games, like the opportunity to go down and play against some of those teams?
Man,
Or is there even opportunities for that?
that's a good question. I think it just comes with the, stigma of being Canadian.
Yeah, I think it's kind of, like, I feel like I'm setting an example for some of those U Sports players, right? To get that opportunity at the next level. It's giving, Canadians the opportunity to play in positions in the CFL that are technically American positions, right? Like, I think Terrell's another example. I know he's playing field corner right now, but, I think he's eventually going to get an opportunity to play boundary, right? And the boundary corner is an American position. There's not Canadian DBs who do that, and I think he might be a guy who gets the opportunity to do that. And just more guys coming out and doing that and playing those American positions as Canadians, I think is, going to give Canadians more respect.
Yeah, for sure. That's definitely what's going to give us the respect is Canadian ball players coming out and being ball players. But being, we was the top 2 receivers in the CFL were Canadian this year, right? I might be wrong.
Well, it was McInnes and
Were the two
they were at
for
the
a
top
while.
at one point.
Yeah, and top running back in the league was Canadian this year.
Yep.
Yep.
So I think more stacking on years like that, it's gonna create respect for us.
Oh,
for
Hardy.
sure. Just Justin
Justin
Hardy.
Hardy, McInnes and Hardy were the top two in the
Hardy's a
end
good ball
there.
player. He's good.
MLS is Canadian, is he not?
Yep.
He finished 7th. Nick Dembski was 8th.
Yeah.
And then, if Philpott doesn't get hurt this year,
Yeah,
he's
he's
finishing
doing well.
right at the top there as well.
Yeah.
The other route to this is it's we don't invest as a country into our athletics. Like
that's always been
the
a big one.
States. We're getting ready. Like I love football. It's my favorite sport. I like watching U Sport, CFL. I love watching the NCAA though and the NFL. And like the NCAA, we're getting into bowl season. What is it? It's all over ABC and ESPN, and it's all the big networks that carry these, and so it's prominent all the time. And Vanier Cup this year was on CBC, but the 2 games, the semis, they were on CBC Gem. You couldn't even watch them on regular TV.
Yeah.
Like we don't have coverage of it. I don't think there was any other outside of CBC any actual media coverage live at the Vanier Cup for our championship of Canadian university football. So it's like there comes a point where if we had the investment in it, but we don't seem to want to or have the interest or the money that wants to go into events to pump it all up.
Yeah.
Because like hockey's like the University of Alberta Golden Bears is one of the best hockey programs like ever. And this is, and it's.
But even with them,
There's
they
not a
struggle.
lot.
They struggle to get sponsors.
Yeah.
Right. Like, so I think that's just it's a Canadian collegiate landscape that suffers. Because obviously, like being at Nate for 3 years, we'd have those conversations about, okay, well, we're playing into others now. How can we make this a little bit more, have more investment into what we're doing? And it's like, that's not happening here. It's Canada.
Right.
I'm like, oh, well, that's not good.
Well, I think part of the issue too is like I'm pretty sure like a lot of universities don't actually fund their programs. Like I know at Waterloo, like they have to get sponsorships to go towards football, and even those football sponsorships they get, they go to the other sports as well. But the team doesn't actually, the university doesn't actually provide money for the sports teams.
Jeez.
Which I think is lacking, especially since a lot of the universities make tons of money, right?
Yep.
And I'm like, you can definitely help with your sports teams, but I mean, I guess that's not my call, right?
No, but it's good conversation because I do agree with you. I think there's an opportunity for schools to realize that. But I think what happens with schools is they just view it as a cost center. Where it's like, okay, this program's going to cost me money because they're traveling here and they need uniforms, they need all this stuff. So now this is just cost. Instead of saying, okay, we're going to invest in that, which is what schools do down in the States. We invest into that program, and when that program becomes bigger, our school actually becomes bigger as well.
100%.
They also promote their players that go off. Like if you're Bama, you're going to praise. Yeah, we've got 6 first-round draft picks this year or something.
Yeah.
Here, like I don't know, like maybe I'm off, but like Waterloo could be like our, Trey Ford's the starting quarterback of the Edmonton Elks coming up this year.
Yeah.
Manitoba going, hey, we've Gavin Cobb got drafted in the Canadian Football League this year, and there's that investment that you can go with. Is that hey, we've got these guys from these schools going there, but it's the Canadian, like we don't promote the youth sport of it enough.
Not at all.
Even the draft, I'll say, like, I don't think anyone, like, the most, almost, like, I don't know who the first round pick is necessarily for the CFL draft coming up this year.
Well, I think the problem with the CFL draft is they only air the first 2 rounds, and then the rest you got to find on your own, like on a live stream.
Yeah.
And just like you said, there's not a lot of coverage on it, And I think it would be a lot. It would be really cool for us as U Sport guys coming out into the draft, and you see your name pop up all over Twitter, all over Instagram, all over Facebook, all over the TV on TSN or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I think that would be really cool.
It's a big for the franchise. It's a big day. Like Grey Cups are won and lost in a sense because of how teams do on those draft days. And like obviously, Curtis Rourke's going to be a guy that will eventually get drafted, but he might have NFL opportunities. So, but beyond that, don't really know. And that's like that goes to we don't have enough recognition of youth sport, which then doesn't have that.
Yeah.
But we promote that, bump that up, then people hopefully care a bit more. And the fact that I think if you're the starting quarterback ultimately this year, I think Dave Naylor of TSN had it yesterday that it'd be like the first time a youth sport quarterback will be the starting quarterback of CFL team since like Rush Jackson in '66 or something like that.
Wow,
that long?
That's pretty cool.
Wow.
Which and then that's great, and then it gives next quarterbacks that go to youth sport like that be the hey, I can go be a starting quarterback in the Canadian Football League.
Yeah,
so
there's definitely a lot of good youth sports quarterbacks like coming up too, right? Who I think are going to get an opportunity. And then I also think there's a lot of quarterbacks like Curtis Rourke, right, who are Canadian that are playing in the States, right, who are going to come and I think have a lot of opportunity as well. So I think there's going to be more Canadian quarterbacks. And I think that's good for the league. I would like to see more U Sports quarterbacks, right? So people don't think they do have to go, to the States to get an opportunity to play in the CFL. So I'm hoping some of those U Sports guys also get the opportunity to have some success.
I got to ask you guys a bit of a divisive question between Shawn and I. You guys
hold on. No, you got to preface it first.
I'm not going to preface all of it. I don't want to preface all of it.
Tommy,
no, you
come
don't
in
get
here.
an extra person.
No,
You don't
I
get an
need him to
extra
come in
person
here. Because
So
you
guys,
got at least...
they're two Canadians.
Okay, fine. Let's go.
It's the Rouge. Thoughts on the Rouge in Canadian football?
I mean, I think it's cool. It's unique.
Get rid of it.
Please leave.
I did
Please
sidelines
leave.
the last game, and when Jake Julian kicked that, I'm like, are you kidding me?
Please leave.
I think it's cool. It's a unique part of the game. It's weird that you can win off a missed field goal.
Thank you.
That's
all I needed to know.
I think maybe it should be an intentional kind of thing. Like when we punted for the win, that's, to me, good.
I didn't like that one.
That's an intentional, I'm trying to kick it for the Rouge, but if I'm kicking a field goal to go up 2, or go up 3,
Yep.
and I miss the field goal and I kick it out the back of the end zone by accident, I feel like
it's like a participation trophy.
yeah, we could have some discussion about altering that rule, but I don't think you can remove the Rouge completely.
So say what I said.
I want Trey's thoughts.
Okay.
I like it. I like the Rouge. I mean, I think, it helps win and lose games, right? I think there's going to be a lot more ties in the Canadian Football League if you don't have it. But yeah, I mean, you should probably kick a field goal and hit it, right? You should probably try to get 3 points. But, if you do kick and you miss and you get a Rouge, you're at least rewarded 1 point for getting into field goal range. And, you still get some points out of it versus nothing. I don't know.
It's the driving down the field. So before he gets into his thing, I love the Rouge. It's Canadian. I want to keep it. I could go with the amendment, though, that if you miss the field goal and it doesn't get, and it goes through the end zone, there's no points. But if it lands in the end zone and the team chooses not to return it out of the end zone, you're giving up a point for field position. Yep. That's the exchange you're trying to do there. To me, it's part of the Rouge is you're getting a point because the other team's choosing not to return it. And we try to encourage the return game.
Right.
So that's where I come in. So I'm not Tommy-esque of let's get rid of it. I'm saying we're not going to give you the point, but if you don't return it, you're going to the 5-yard line.
The 5-yard line.
5-yard line, because now you're saying we want to encourage people to come out and run that thing out. Mm-hmm. But if you don't want to do that, okay, well, you're going to sacrifice field position.
Big time.
So instead of big time. So go to the 10. But instead of giving up that single, I'm just like, well, okay, you kicked this ball, you missed it. We're going to reward this guy for missing it. That's just my mentality of it. So I'm like, well, okay, let's keep it then. That's cool. It's fine. But then here's your field position. You deal with that.
Well, then I would be kicking for a Rouge every single time.
But you wouldn't get the point if you kick it through, you're not getting that point.
But they get the ball at the 10-yard line?
You have your opportunity to run this thing out, do your thing. If you don't want to do that, you can go to the 10-yard line.
I mean, if I put the other team on the 10-yard line every time, that changes.
That's better than a point, I
that
think.
changes the offense's mentality because
More points scored?
Well, if you get the ball, when we get the ball inside our own 10-yard line, the message in the huddle is always 2 first downs. Mm-hmm. Whereas when we get the ball at the 40, it's, hey guys, let's go score. So I feel like if we're pinning the team at the 10-yard line, we're going to end up with more punts, getting us better field position. So I feel like people would just find the loophole in that rule. Let me just get you guys the ball on the 10-yard line and play some defense.
It might lead to more punts, which isn't as exciting.
But then that unlocks him.
Yeah, I would like that. Yeah. But that was the whole thing in the CFL when they made that rule to where the touchback or the Rouge comes out to the 40, so there would be more points getting scored.
So you don't think there'd be more points scored based off of because of that field position? So now if you're at the 10-yard line, teams are going to have to change how they think about it, where it's the 2 first downs, like you mentioned. It's well, we got to figure out a way to get this. We got to flip the field.
Right.
So now maybe you take that extra shot, or maybe you do something a little bit different. Because if you don't, now when you punt that, and let's say it gets to the 30 and you run it for 10, well, now it's instantaneous, great field position for you guys. Now can that not increase the scoring?
Well, if you're talking about increasing the scoring, right, I think the Rouge is a great example of that. So if you do kick, say it goes out of the back end zone, 1 point gets added, right? So you're increasing scoring. I know it's not a lot, 1 point, but then the other team gets to start at the 40, which again puts them in a good situation to drive
field
and
position.
get points. Right?
I'm against yours. I was always waiting to see how I go about it, but
Yeah, but I was never just full out Tommy.
No, I know.
Like, get rid of the Rouge.
But I'm glad that's not what we heard.
At
today.
least I wanted to have a discussion on it. Like, let's change this up a little bit.
We've
But
gone
for
at it
discussion.
for like a good
Yeah.
half a season between him and I. In the
I don't know. I feel like a lot of it too, like, I feel like this year was probably, the most games that actually came down to a Rouge winning a game. Usually it's not coming down to
No.
a Rouge winning the game, right? So I feel like, and I think 2 or 3 situations this year.
There was you guys in the last game
Yep.
with Julian's punt, and then Toronto, Saskatchewan this year.
Yeah, and then
With
off the top of your
missed
head, what about like the previous 3 years?
No,
Right? So it's like,
and
I
maybe
don't-
that's why it's so big of a factor this year.
it's because it stood out.
Yeah.
yeah, right.
And
but
then,
I'm saying,
Barstool in the States got a hold of it and promotes it, and it's out there. But they're promoting because it doesn't happen so often.
yeah, but like that's the thing. I don't think it's actually a huge determining factor of who's winning games a lot of times, right? I think, like luckily it happened twice this year, but usually I don't think it's that big of a factor, to be honest.
At the end of the game, but at what points during the game did those Rouges impact the score?
Yeah, but there's
That's how you look at it. But
maybe a couple
I'm all
here
for
and there,
it.
yeah.
It also makes
Screw it. I'm out. No, get rid of it.
It makes the
Cut it.
Canadian game fun. It makes it absolutely enjoyable.
It definitely makes a difference.
It makes the Canadian game Canadian.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't disagree with that, but I still am like, I don't like the participation trophy award.
So what if we got rid of it on field goals but kept it on punts?
In what sense in the punt? Like, you kick that thing all the way through the end zone, you get it?
1 point.
No matter what on
But
punch,
if you
you're
miss
giving
a
up a
field
point.
goal, you don't get it Rouge. If it goes out the back
I
of
could
the
live
end
with
zone.
that.
So what we did was fine to win the game.
See, you didn't like
I didn't
that
like
at the time.
that one still. But I could live with the, like, if you miss this field goal, you're not getting a point for that. Because, like, to me, that's rewarding failure.
But now, what if the returner catches the field goal in the end zone and gets tackled in the end zone? Do we still get the point?
That's a good conversation. I never thought about that one.
This is why I just keep the Rouge as is. Keep the Rouge as
You're going
is.
to have to keep it as is. But I'm going to think about this one. I'm going to get back to you.
Okay.
This is good. Like,
I'll see you at the
Building this up.
Elks banquet.
All right.
Yeah,
We'll discuss.
We'll discuss it then. Yeah.
further go into this. Just a few more minutes left. I really appreciate you guys coming in
Yeah,
for
thank you for
the
having
show
us.
today. Christmas coming up. What are you guys' plans?
Well, I got to do Christmas with my family, Christmas with the wife's family. So lots of driving and lots of seeing family. But I'm excited. It's gonna be good.
Same city area, or like
One
Big
in Niagara
difference.
Falls
Yeah.
for my family, and then my wife's family is gonna be up in Sudbury. So
Okay.
about a 7-hour drive. So quick turnaround though, because I think I should probably check the dates to make sure, but I think one's on the 21st and one's on the 24th. I think. So,
okay.
Cool. That'll be fun.
Yeah, you flying home?
No, I'm going to stay here in Edmonton. I think flights got a little expensive over Christmas. I waited too late to book them. But I got some family out here in Edmonton, and I mean, I got really close friends that I call family out here. So probably just do the Christmas thing with them and their kids. Spend some time with families.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be a
It'll
good
be
time.
fun. Just relax a little.
Yeah.
I'll see you next week.
I'll see you next weekend.
Get into it next week. As
See
we
you this
discussed
weekend. Actually,
What do we got going on this weekend?
Well, that's what I'm trying to figure out.
what's the dates, Maddie?
I have no idea.
Really, we don't have anything going on Saturday.
No, we don't. We have it on Friday.
Friday?
If you're talking about the Christmas party.
Yes, I am.
Oh, that's Friday.
Yeah, so I'll see you in a couple
You
days.
said you were a maybe and stuff.
I'm
That's
gonna
where I
make
didn't know. Okay.
I'll make it.
We'll talk about that after. These two don't care about our Christmas party. And
Maybe they
all
want an
that.
invite.
Yeah.
Unless you guys
I
would like
was-
to come out. We're going bowling.
Where
there you
are we
go.
bowling at?
West Ed. The mall.
Okay.
See?
I could be interested.
Well, we'll let you know.
Sweet.
Yeah, there it is.
I'll be gone. I'll be flying back.
Well, all the best with your guys' off season. Best of luck with. Hopefully, we still see you green and gold next year.
I
Best
hope
of
so
luck
as well.
with free agency. Congratulations on the deal. I know there's a lot of people who are excited. Over the last year, I think there's been people calling for an extension of Trey and wanting to see you as a starting quarterback. So congrats on that. Actually, did you ever hear? Do you hear that noise throughout the year, or is it like?
Yeah, it's mostly my wife. She's kind of on the social media,
Yeah?
and she's like, "Oh, look what these people are saying. Oh, look what this guy said. I don't like him." So, yeah, I definitely hear a little bit, but I mean, you know, she was kind of here back and forth, here for 2 weeks, gone for 2 weeks. So, you know, 2 weeks I'd hear about it, 2 weeks I wouldn't. But you know, it was okay. I appreciate all the support from the fans, though, for sure.
Well, yeah, congratulations, and hopefully we can maybe try to get you guys on at some point before the
Yeah.
season, if possible.
Perfect.
If you're
Love to.
interested.
We'd love to.
And then, actually, if all three of you would love for you guys to sign it, we're starting to get people to sign the wall.
Cool.
So I'd love
cool.
to get you.
Perfect.
We
Done.
need you as well, Bellsy.
Yeah.
Hello Hockey Saturday.
Yeah.
Any idea? Or should I not
Kinda.
ask? Besides
Don't
David
ask.
Pagnotta.
No, don't ask.
David Pagnotta?
Yeah.
David Pagnotta, Hello Hockey, 10 o'clock right here on Hello Hockey on Saturday. Coming up next, Lock Shop, Dusty and Huss. We've got Oil Stream with Dusty and Tommy. We've got EST Afternoons with Hernan and Gager. We've got Reed Wilkins Show with Jay Mill, and that's all coming up here on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports. Again, thanks to Trey and Gavin for coming in. Thanks to Michael Curry from the Elks for helping set this up. On behalf of Trey, Gavin, Tommy, who was in earlier, Shawn, Matt, thanks for tuning in to the EST Hangout presented by Sentinel Storage. Like I said, Lock Shop coming up in just a few minutes. Don't go anywhere.
Let's go. There you go, right in front of the camera.
First time guest, long time listener, fan of the original draft commissioner.
Welcome to the EST Hangout presented by White Claw Hard Seltzer. The difference is clear. Matt Iwanyk, Tom Gazzola with here. Joining us today,